high-flying win on the road at altitude. Timmy Chang's Rainbow Warriors are back home, rested off a bye and confident that they found their groove. Micah Alejado was in his bag against Air Force, moving the chains and finding the end zone, much to the delight of their fourth-year head coach. The Aggies of Utah State have made the long trek from the mountains to take on Hawaii's Rainbow Warriors. College football Saturday again comes to a close right here. With that, we welcome you to Clarence T.C. Ching Athletic Complex. A gorgeous night for football. Utah State coming in 3-2. Want to talk with Timmy Chang, a level of confidence that may not have been there the previous 3 seasons, certainly not at this point of the year.
And this is a huge game for Timmy because you get your 5th win. Suddenly you're inches away from bowl eligibility, and that's not something that we've been able to talk about with this Hawaii program for a number of years. So you're at home. Timmy talks about how much they love playing in front of the home fans. We see people coming in, and I hope this place is packed. This is my first opportunity to actually witness a game here. I've been here for practice, but practice, like as Alan Iverson said, we're talking about practice? Now we're talking about a game with people, and if Hawaii gets off to a fast start, I think that's really important, Kanoa.
As mentioned, the Aggies, they hold a 13-6 overall series lead in this matchup. In fact, they hold a 6-4 advantage in Honolulu. And that 8-game win streak in this series record that is in advantage of Utah State. That spans 5 different Hawaii head coaches. Wow. You talk about McMackin, Chow, Rolovich, Graham, and Timmy Chang. Of course, Chang's Rainbow Warriors trying to avenge a lopsided defeat last year in Logan, 55-10. Meanwhile, Bronco Mendenhall, he's looking to exact a little vengeance as well because he was the head coach of New Mexico last year when they lost to Hawaii in this facility. It was Micah Alejado's first career start and his coming out party.
I think that's a really important point as we get set for the kickoff here. I guarantee you that Utah State will not operate the same defense that they did with the Lobos last year.
Utah State won the coin toss, elected to defer, and so Hawaii receiving here to get this game going, and it is fair caught by Cam Barfield. All right, let's take a look at Micah Alejado coming off of a gargantuan performance at Air Force, 35-47 for 457 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has thrown for 6 TDs overall to 4 interceptions, and it was clicking up there in Colorado Springs.
Yeah, I mean, the key for Micah is his awareness of what the defensive front is doing. What are they showing to him? We saw what happened against Fresno State. If you talk to June Jones, he'll tell you, our offense is built to answer anything that you pose. We'll see what the answers are tonight.
Yeah, that base 3-3-5 defensive formation for Bronco Mendenhall, and that is a completion to Nick Senecal. Welcome back. His return after missing 4 games due to a knee injury. The bye week certainly helped him among several other members of this roster, but that was a beauty right there, a dime thrown by Alejado.
And I think it says a lot that they want to get Nick involved early.
26-yard gain on that connection, as that one they tried to swing out to Pofele Ashlock, and it falls incomplete. Hawaiian Financial FCU starting lineups coming up as we take a look at Hawaii. This is the first time this season that Hawaii will have the full complement of all of their first stringers available. You see the skill position players. Senecal already in the book, making his comeback from injury. On the offensive line, Brisky, Sotelo, Spencer, Pehopa, and Milo Vale. When we have an opportunity, we'll meet the Utah State starters. Landon Sims, meanwhile, lining up in the backfield, standing next to Alejado. And he gets the rock, is immediately hit, and in fact, he's going to be chopped down for a loss. That was William Holmes, the former baseball player, 25 years old, a 6'4", 245-pound sophomore making the play. Up front, you have Tyree Morris, Gabriel Iniguez, and Bo Maile. Olivao Miller, you saw Holmes right there, and Chris Joe, that next level. And Ugo actually out injured, we have just been told here this evening. Avenger, Hamblin, and Tucker in the defensive secondary.
You see the penetration here, and just no chance for Landon Sims to do anything. And now Utah State stunting at the line of scrimmage. They're showing pressure here on 3rd and 13.
Alejado going to bring it to the near side. That one may have been tipped at the line. Either way, it's off the mark. And Hawaii facing a punting situation here on 4th down on this opening drive.
I wonder who Micah is marking to right there, but he doesn't seem to be particularly happy.
The pressure on that play, by the way, brought by number 18, Ike Larson, 5'10 junior, who is making his season debut for Utah State tonight. Was suspended for violation of team rules for the first 7 weeks of the year. Has not played yet, but he is a good one. A Mountain West all-first teamer 2 seasons ago as the punt by Billy Gowers, the 3rd oldest player in FBS football, 29-year-old freshman, is a good one. In fact, it is out of bounds at the 1. Look at that mark.
Well, you can't ask for anything more in terms of Hawaii. Slow start offensively, but now your defense has a chance to pin Utah State down deep and see if they can make a play on defense. Let's see exactly where this ball went out.
Look at that. I mean, it was as if he was controlling it with a remote control.
A little joystick action there.
That is his 11th punt over 50 yards this season. That one officially 52 yards. And so Utah State backed up here on its opening offensive possession. Bryson Barnes is the quarterback, a 6th-year collegiate athlete, spent 4 years at Utah before matriculating over to Logan, Utah. He was hurt in the first play of the 4th quarter 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt. Was cleared medically after going through concussion protocol earlier this week. He had thrown 3 touchdown passes in that game. He also has 6 rushing touchdown passes, already 2 off of the single-season Utah State quarterback record. And Miles Davis is the one who will get them a little more breathing room here, a little more comfortable on that close to the goal line handoff. We meet the skill position players for the Aggies: Brock Lane, Brady Boyd, Anthony Garcia, who actually came to Utah State as a quarterback, now a receiver, Braden Pagan, and you saw Miles Davis on the carry. And they'll try to go a little tempo here. Oh, and immediately Barnes is shut down, and guess who? Dijon Benton, who played for Bronco Mendenhall last year at New Mexico, was injured, but now he's on the other side. And this was a game plan this week for Hawaii. They thought this could be possibly a Dijon Benton game.
So you see the swim technique there as he gets right by the center, and it's a straight line to the quarterback.
This guy has been unreal. Did not play at Air Force. That is his 3rd sack of the season.
So now you got 3rd and 9.
And, oh, danger here for Barnes, but he unloads it down the field and out of bounds. And so 4th down coming up for Utah State, and they're punting out of their own end zone.
Yeah, again, Hawaii defense, you see Miles Davis rip off that chunk, and you figure, okay, they've got a little bit of breathing room, but the sack by Dijon Benton kind of flips them. And now they got a punt deep in their own end zone, and we'll see what Hawaii can do. They should have excellent field position for their 2nd offensive possession.
The punter for Utah State is Landon Rico. Spent 2 years at BYU. Has an average of 45 yards, a long of 61, 11 punts over 50 yards in distance. But this is dangerous. Tamo Wiliata is back to receive this punt. He is standing in plus territory already, and he's going to try to forge a return. Doesn't get much more, but gets inside the Utah State 40. So exquisite field position for Hawaii on this upcoming possession. No blood on either first drive. Bose ball when we come back. Welcome back. Dijon Benton had a key defensive play there on that first possession for Utah State. Just sprung loose, immediately dumping quarterback Bryson Barnes. And that is his 3rd sack of the season.
That is a big man. 6'2", 270 pounds from Pittsburgh, California, not Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
So Hawaii with great field position here, and Alejado going to turn it loose down to the end zone, but although he had a man, there was double coverage there as well. Was looking in the direction of Jackson Harris, the Stanford transfer who went off against Air Force. 7 catches for a career-high 144 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 74-yard touchdown catch.
Yeah, high degree of difficulty to get this ball in between 2 defenders. I talked to Jackson Harris before the game, a transfer from Stanford, and I said, what's your favorite route? And he goes, the go ball, man, the go. I just want to run straight down the field.
So that brings up 2nd and 10 here. Ball at the Utah State 39-yard line.
Pressure.
And that one is completed to Carson Pupunu. Pupunu, Lahaina native, 6'3", 205-pound senior. With his 19th catch of the year, came into this game with 143 receiving yards, an average of just under 8 per catch.
So they're going to try to pressure Micah here, and what we've witnessed is when Micah feels heat, he tends to look to the sidelines. So if you see the stunting here that's going on just before the snap of the ball.
Oh, that one down the seam, and it's Pofele Ashlock. He got upended. Was the catch made first, though? And I think they're going to rule that it was a catch. Fumble caused by the ground, and so this is a first down for Hawaii.
Let's see if he maintains possession. Okay, he does. The ground cannot cause a fumble, so that's a catch. It's not a fumble, and first down, Hawaii.
D'Angelo Mays, the corner, with that chop down maneuver. 15 yards on that completion. Pofele Ashlock, who has now caught a pass in all 31 career games in which he's played. Ball at the 19. Alejado going to send it out. This is Devin Tauaefa, the tight end. And he runs into a bunch of white shirts. And it'll be a short gain. Tauaefa, the 6'5" junior out of St. Louis School in his 4th year with UH. Here's another look at that Pofele Ashlock.
Yeah, again, he had the ball tucked, came down on his forearm. That is not a fumble.
Yeah, once the forearm touches, that's the end of the play.
That's the end of the play.
2nd and 7 here for the Rainbow Warriors. It is Sims in the backfield. And he is not going to find any running room. In fact, it's going to go in as a short loss. Bo Miley was first on the scene. In his 5th year with Utah State, 6'3", 270-pound junior D tackle from South Jordan, Utah.
So one of the things that we saw on that play is Sims shifting just before the snap of the ball. Often that is Micah telling him, okay, I'm going to hand this ball off.
Miley had 3 tackles and half a sack in that matchup in Logan against Hawaii last season. So a 3rd and 7 here.
Empty. Here comes the pressure.
Alejado going to throw complete short of the stick. So that catch is made by Nick Senecal, and Reverend Hamlin immediately making the stop. And that's going to bring up 4th down. They are most definitely in Tokyo toe range, but looks like they might be contemplating going for this.
4th, call it a long 3, maybe 4th and 4. So at this point, Anthony Arsenault, the offensive coordinator, he and Timmy are in sync, and they have plays for every situation. It's just a question what Anthony recommends and when. And we're going to get a timeout here.
It's going to be Utah State signaling for a timeout with 8:57 left to play in this first quarter. So a little bit of a roll of the dice. Yep. At least that's the look that Hawaii shows. Will it still be the look when we come back? Welcome back. You can find Spectrum Sports on the Spectrum News app. It has the local sports you love, plus news and weather that matter most to you and your community, available on all your favorite devices. So Hawaii indeed brings the offense back out after the timeout. UH 7 of 11 on 4th down conversion attempts here this season. This is the 7th play coming up on this drive.
You going hard count here, or are you actually going to run a play?
Well, now we got another whistle, and it'll be a Hawaii timeout.
Charge from the half, Hawaii. 30 seconds.
The chess game continues.
There's
here.
so much to talk about on both sides. So now I wonder if Timmy's going to send the field goal unit out.
Yeah,
here we go.
Appears as though Kansei Matsuzawa is now making his way out onto the field, and what a story this guy has been, right? 16 of 16 in field goal attempts with a long of 52. That was a career long this season. Going back to last year, 17 straight field goal makes. Can he stay locked in?
Well, this is a chip shot for Kansei.
Yeah, this is a 30-yard attempt coming up. See the numbers. The Tokyo toe, with his name in kanji on the back of that jersey. It is down at Long snapper Jack Maury, holder Caleb Freeman, and kicker Kansei Matsuzawa. They continue to be perfect.
Perfection. You know, he was a guest, this celebration, a guest on Tumua's podcast. You told me you were going to try to get Tumua in the booth, and you failed, and that's why I even came up here, because I wanted to meet Tumua, and I actually tried to DM. I tried to slide into his DMs, and he's like, I don't know who you are. I have no idea who you are. So I guess I'll be Rich and Tumua for the purposes of this broadcast. By the way, I don't know, can we look at the field goal again? I just want to point out one thing as a guy who lives on the mainland now, because that ball kicked right into the gorgeous pink skyline.
Yes.
Look at this.
Yeah, this time of day, it's special. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is why we live here, right?
Yeah, things are painted a little differently at this time of day around these parts. So Kansei Matsuzawa is good from 30. He is out there to kick off. And Hawaii strikes first here on the scoreboard against Utah State. And this one is going to be fair caught there by the Aggies. Javen Jacobs, members of the running back stable. And so the Aggies offense coming back out onto the field. If you're Hawaii, you feel good about striking first. Do you feel a little less good because you didn't get into the end zone?
Yeah, obviously, you want to score 7 in these situations. This is the point where I lay out and Kanoa does the starting lineup for Utah State.
Well, we'll point out right guard Tabo Motuafuaka. He is a Mililani High School alum, was injured last season, did not play, but worked really hard in the offseason to once on that right guard position here in 2025. Sia Miley, as well as Liston and Anderson, the rest of the offensive line starters. We'll get to the Hawaii defense here shortly, and this is Barnes. This is what he can do. He is not afraid of contact. He runs very much with his head down, almost Tim Tebow style when he gets out there, and he runs for a first down.
And they're going up tempo.
This is going to be a handoff. This is Jacobs, and he is quickly enveloped by that Hawaii defensive front after a minimal gain of 1 yard.
How about the defense, Kanoa?
Well, let's meet the defense. Lester Longafuaina, Carson Stoklinski. We've already seen Dijon Benton record a sack, and Tariq Jones, the fellas up front. Smith, Otis, Palmer, that next level. And in the defensive secondary, Jaheim Wilson-Jones, Peter Manuma, Kilinahi Mendiola Jensen, and Verdell Edwards.
Look at this formation in the backfield. You just don't see this outside of maybe the go-go offense that UNLV ran. It's a misdirection.
This is Miles Davis, and he is off and running down the sideline, just tearing and eating up yardage. We do have a penalty flag on the play, and this might be coming back.
So one of the things you're going to see with Utah State is there's a lot of eye candy in the backfield, a lot of misdirection, and it can be really confusing. And we mentioned this in the open. Eye discipline is so important.
Holding, number 5, offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Resulting play is still a first down.
So it remains a first down, although they are put back at the Hawaii 49. You may see the hold here in that foreground.
Yeah, and it was completely unnecessary.
Brady Boyd there, one who committed that penalty. Nolan Dumas, by the way, the referee here tonight, and that's a completion out to Javen Jacobs. And you're right, offensive coordinator Kevin McGivern, he has been all over the place in his coaching career. This is his 3rd stint with Utah State. Most recently, he was at San Jose State, and so he's coached some really good quarterbacks. You talk about Chucky Keaton in his previous Utah State days. You talk about Josh Love, Chevin Cordero while he was at San Jose State. And they will apply a whole lot of different methodologies, including what you alluded to, that go-go offense.
Deep ball.
And he has a man, but good coverage in the area, or at least it appeared as it was good coverage until a flag comes out. And Justin Sinclair looks like he's going to be called for the pass interference.
So this drives me crazy because the ball is thrown and there's an official literally 5 feet away, and he does not throw.
Pass interference, number 21, defense, 15-yard penalty, an automatic. First down.
He was handsy. He was definitely handsy. The back judge threw the flag. So, well, that was more obvious from that angle. I guess that's why he threw it.
Yeah, no, there was quite a bit of hand fighting and maybe jersey tugging on both sides, but Sinclair maybe with the most egregious pull of the jersey. And so first down and 10 in plus territory, ball at the Hawaii 30. Closing in on 7 minutes to play here in this first period. Send a man in motion. It's Noah White. They play action and the completion over the middle. It is Braden Pagan who is able to bring it in. 6'3" junior, the top receiver here for the Aggies. 24 receptions coming into this game, 369 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 15 yards per catch.
So this is classic RPO football here. You fake the handoff, freeze the linebackers, rip the ball down the seam, and you've got one-on-one in the secondary.
They break off 15 on that completion. So first and 10 from the Hawaii 15. Option. They're going to run an option. It's Barnes keeping it, and he gets tripped up. It'll be marked as a gain of 5. Tariq Jones chasing down the play.
It's so hard when you have a mobile quarterback like this. Take another look. Yeah, once he gets the edge, and this is, okay, now we've got a 4-man stack here. You're going to see every formation known to mankind here by Utah State.
It's the tight end Brock Lane in motion. They're going to swing it out on the bubble screen to Noah White, trying to get to the sideline, and he runs out of room. So Hawaii did a good job of stringing that out. But a late hit, as a couple of penalty flags come out, might be the call here.
Well, we've seen penalties have been a problem for this Hawaii team. They were pretty clean against Air Force. I think only 4 penalties in that game, but let's just see where the hit takes place. Yeah, it's
after
the second
play
hit.
was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness from a 79. Defense has the distance to go for the end of the play. Automatic. First down.
So that's Dijon Benton who gets flagged for the late hit. Yeah, Hawaii 4 penalties for just 17 yards 2 weeks ago against Air Force.
And we've got 2 penalties on this drive, and this is really costly. So now you've got first and goal here for the Aggies. And again, 2 backs to the left of Barnes.
And it is going to be a give. And it is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Marked down at 2. That is Miles Davis on the carry. He has a couple of TD rushes here this season.
If you go back many, many decades, there was a musician, famous musician, Miles Davis.
That's right.
This Miles Davis makes beautiful music as well. He just doesn't carry a football.
Well, this is also Bryson Barnes' territory. 6 rushing TDs this season.
Yeah, he has more rushing touchdowns than 29 other FBS programs. Entire teams, including Hawaii.
There you go. Hawaii got its first 2 rushing TDs against Air Force. This is Jacobs, and he runs into a wall of Warriors. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, when I talked to Chris Brown before the game, he liked the defensive matchup. He felt that they were more physical and could dominate the line of scrimmage. As you see, they try to pull the backside linemen to forge a path, and the Hawaii defenders just stacked it up. There's Chris Brown.
Chris Brown, associate head coach. Dijon Benton was in the thick of things on that last tackle. 3rd and goal here for the Aggies. Barnes being chased. He's going to throw to the end zone. Nobody home. It falls helplessly out of bounds. And that's going to bring up a possible field goal situation here for Utah State. In fact, it appears as though Tanner Rinker is going to come out. 2 for 2. Much different field goal kicking numbers for Tanner Rinker compared to Kansei Matsuzawa. But 20 for 20 in PATs, career long of 49. In fact, he was the Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week after their season opening win against UTEP, and he kicked good from 49 and 28. Another chippy here. 21 yards, and it is up, and it is good. We are tied at 3 here in the first quarter. So much for these high-scoring offenses, at least with 4 minutes plus left to play in this first frame.
We got a soccer game.
Welcome back. Let's go inside the numbers presented by Long's Drugs. 12-14. That's the duration of Hawaii's 24-play drive at Air Force. Started with 1:03 left on the clock in the first quarter. Ended with 3:49 left in the second quarter. Drive ended with a 31-yard Kansei Matsuzawa field goal. same distance that Kansei just kicked from earlier in this game. But yeah, talk about a role reversal at Air Force.
Well, that's the crazy thing. You have a 24-play drive and you get 3. I mean, the FBS record is 26 plays on a drive. Fair catch.
That is Cam Barfield and Hawaii.
Can I
bring the offense back out?
Make one comment?
Please.
So I just got a tweet. Dernzoid says, Larry Beal, freaking awesome. What happened to his pigeon, though? Hey, Dernzoid, bother you.
That is right.
You want to come at me? Okay, let's go.
He's equipped. You're now bilingual after the time that you've spent on the continent. You can fall back into the pigeon at any time.
Can't be busting it out in the first quarter.
But we are very privileged here to have Larry Beal donning a headset. We somehow talked him into not only showing up, putting on a headset, but also keeping the headset on for hopefully 4 full quarters. This is Brandon White on the first down catch for Hawaii. He's going to be iced out of bounds just shy of the line of game.
Great blitz recognition by Micah Alejado there. And I told you earlier, when he sees pressure coming up the middle, like we saw against Fresno State, his first read is the out route. That's where the ball's going. So a 9-yard gain.
So closing in on 4 minutes to play here in this first quarter. Micah Alejado, 6 of 9 to start for 62 yards. With time. All kinds of time. He's going to heave it down the sideline. Has White. It is caught. Brandon White, a deep threat in this Hawaii receiver core. And he comes up with a big catch, and that is another dime dotted by Micah Alejado.
Fastest guy on the field. Runs a 4.2840. This play is called Z-Go. He lines up split right. Go, fly, streak, 9 route, whatever you want to call it. Fastest man out there, and it's my speed against your speed. Nobody's catching White.
7 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown against Air Force. Had that 24-yard touchdown catch where he made that move along the sideline. It was almost Jeff Seidner-like.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's a high praise right there. 46-yard connection on that completion to White as Cam Barfield gets the handoff there and doesn't get much.
By the way, White, I mentioned 4.2840. He's faster than Tylan Hines, and Tylan Hines was a blur.
That's right.
So you're talking about a guy who can really take the top off a defense.
So Hawaii in business here. Utah State, top scoring offense in the Mountain West. Hawaii, when it has it going, one of the top offenses as well. That is a great catch. Pofele Ashlock pulls it in. And Hawaii finds the heavy paint.
Leading receiver for Hawaii coming in with 38 receptions for 355 yards. High points the ball. Maintains possession through the contact with the ground. So he's the middle receiver in the trips left formation. He has choice. I'll explain some of that in the run and shoot terminology, but the choice there was a touchdown.
Yeah, Pofele Ashlock, seemingly always a good choice for Micah Alejado. 4th touchdown catch of the season. Kansei on for the point after. He remains perfect in PATs this season as well. And Hawaii strikes big time offensively. Looks like we have a late penalty flag at the end of that extra point.
And we'll see what the laundry is all about.
But an impressive drive as it stands. 4 plays, 75 yards in just over 2 minutes.
And suddenly it's not a soccer game anymore.
No.
So this is what Hawaii can do. Quick strike offense. You see the bomb to Brandon White and Pofele Ashlock. Let's talk a little run and shoot offense, okay? Because I like the celebration too. You and I should do that at the end of the game.
I'm not sure if we would make it look as cool.
Probably not. Probably not. They're still talking it over. That's fine. So this is not the June Jones run and shoot per se. It's a little bit of air raid, a little bit of run and shoot, a little RPO. It's kind of a mixed plate.
There are 2 fouls after the play, both on Utah State, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 44 and 55. That's both players first of the game. A 15-yard enforced on the kickoff. The try is good.
That's a couple of D linemen for Utah State, Bo Maile and Tevita Tuha. So that's their first penalty of that variety. We'll keep an eye on that. Alejado, I mean, he has made some brilliant looking tosses so far already in this first quarter.
Here we go. Well, I don't want to headbutt you, so we're not doing that.
Yeah, they've done that a few times.
I don't think we're going to be able to do that choreography.
No,
we have to replay that at halftime if he does. If you and I are going to do that.
renege that suggestion there.
So one of the things that we're going to see, and I expect to see, after I talk with offensive coordinator Anthony Arsenault, is they're going to roll Micah away from pressure. And he's a left-handed quarterback, so that's the natural direction that he would go to. And he throws such a catchable ball. He doesn't have a howitzer for an arm. But, you know, if you go back, Bill Walsh would tell you the two most important things in quarterback play: footwork and precision. Can you put the ball where your receiver gets it? It's not about throwing hard through a brick wall.
Meanwhile, Masuzawa with a little poocher. And it's going to take a high bounce. It's going to be fielded there by Javen Jacobs, but now whistle's blowing it dead.
The ruling on the field is in number 7 for Utah State. Give an invalid fair catch. Hold the ball when it's possessed. First down.
Oh, so it was a fair catch that was signaled by another special teams member for Utah State. So let's bring in our rules analyst, Kyle Galdera. Kyle, explain to us exactly what happened there.
Thanks, Kanoa. This is a safety rule, and when somebody on the receiving team signals fair catch, the defensive team, the kicking team, basically lets up. So you're trying to make it so that Utah State doesn't get an advantage by signaling fair catch and then take off with the ball. And because they called it an invalid fair catch, that basically stops the ball as soon as it's possessed. So this is a great job by Hawaii pinning Utah State deep.
It's a great job by you on that explanation.
How does he know all this?
First and 10, ball at the 10. And Barnes looked like he was looking to run. Now takes a step back, throws over the top, and it's incomplete. Had a couple of guys in the general area, but I'm not sure either of them was looking back at the football.
Well, and you could see the look on Barnes' face right here. I don't know if this was done by design. I suspect that he's frustrated with the receivers for not recognizing what was about to happen. And they're going still up-tempo here. Now, you'll see a lot of teams will come to the line of scrimmage, but 17, 16, 15, they may not snap it immediately.
Barnes going to step up. He's going to run. Penalty flag is thrown. He dives across the first down marker, and I think this is going to come back as well. So penalties, plenty on both sides here in this first frame.
But Utah State, I mean, it feels like, with the exception of one drive, is that they're just pinned down
Holding,
deep.
number 72, offense, half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
So that's George Miley. He is the brother of the defensive lineman whose name we have mentioned, Bo Miley. And so he commits the penalty. And yeah, this has been kind of the general area that Utah State has had to fight out of now a couple of times already in this game. 3 penalties for the Aggies for 30 yards, 2 for Hawaii for 19. We're closing in on 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Barnes standing on the goal line. Steps up. He's going to tuck it. He's going to try to run away from trouble. Another penalty flag is thrown. He is nipped at the heels from behind. And I think this is going to once again go against Utah State.
Holding, number 72, offense, half the distance to go from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
Same guy.
It is Miley again, the left guard.
Yeah, you can see it right there, the hold. You know, you can grab, but if you are going to grab outside of the frame of the pads, the refs are going to see that and appropriately call it.
This is now a very precarious situation here for Utah State. Barnes standing in the end zone. And now this is whistled dead, and we're going to have a false start against Utah State.
Prior to the snap, false start, the 62, offense, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
They're running out of room to back that ball up here.
I'm glad we cut to a shot of Bronco Mendenhall, because this is not his style of football. he is all about execution, and practice makes perfect. And again, we mentioned the hard work. He's all about the hard work. His motto is culture precedes performance. Right now, performance is lacking. Fans getting into it.
There's going to be a running play. Utah State just trying to get a little bit of breathing room at this point. And
Miles Davis.
that was Miles Davis on the carry. Jalen Smith there who stepped up to make the defensive play.
So now you got 3rd and long here, and another opportunity for the Hawaii defense to try to get great field position for Micah. Force a punt. I don't know what they have on. A 3rd and 14 now.
And that is a completion out to Brock Lane, but he's not going to get anywhere near enough yardage for a first down. And so 4th down coming up. Utah State has to punt from deep in its own territory again coming into this game. Utah State just 31% on 3rd down conversion attempts this year.
Well, you could see right there Barnes talking with Miley, and what are you going to tell? Stop holding. I mean, he's trying, but if it's going to be that obvious, it's going to be called. And this is far too many mistakes for the Aggies. This is not the way they play football.
So Landon Rico again standing in Utah State's own end zone, kicks it out to Tama Wiliata. Slapped on the number 20 jersey for his special teams stints. And a 41-yard punt is fair caught and good near midfield position here for Hawaii's offense as we close in on the end of this first quarter.
Don't you love the double uniforms?
Yeah.
Play-by-play announcers, worst
so good.
nightmare. Double uniforms. Let's talk volleyball.
Double numbers, all of that stuff.
You're working again tomorrow. You
That's
ever take a day off?
What are those? No, we have Hawaii against UC Santa Barbara tomorrow. Of course, Rainbow Wahine coming off of a difficult sweep defeat last night at the hands of Cal Poly. They go up against another Central Coast opponent in UCSB, a very talented one at that. So that is tomorrow on Spectrum OC16. Our coverage begins at 4:30. Likely the last play of the first quarter. Alejado back to throw. Has some time here. Now roaming to his right. And he sends a completion the way of Brandon White. And that is how the first 15 minutes ends here at Clarence D.C. Ching Athletic Complex. Hawaii leading by a touchdown, 10-3 over the Aggies of Utah State. Well, Rich Miano leaves, and of course, we throw a little bit of a throwback party up here in the booth. Kanoa Leahy along with, of course, Larry Beal. And look who's joining us now. It is the mayor of the city and county of Honolulu, Rick Blangiardi.
Hey, Kanoa, good to be here with both of you guys. I remember when you were both kids watching me and your dad. We were both little kids watching us, and here I am with you guys looking up to the both of you.
Yeah, just a few years ago, right?
Just a few years ago.
Not very long ago, right? Yeah, no, this is a really interesting dynamic that plays out because as we get set to start the second quarter here, we have a couple of guys up here in the booth with me who have a tie to the 1989 UH versus BYU football game, the breakthrough victory for Hawaii, 56-14, exorcised the demons of all of those previous year losses to the Cougars. As Alejado in trouble is going to go down, hung on to it for a little too long that time.
I think it was Davis in the game. Take one more look here. Oh, no, it was Alejado.
Yeah. And, yeah, it looked like it was number 17, Matyra Brown, who came off the edge to make the stop. But, yeah, what do you guys recall about that 1989 game?
Well, you want to go back to that? Actually, this game, I'm really like the way Hawaii's playing tonight. They're playing quick. They look good. They're moving around on both sides of the ball.
So it was October 28, 1989. Okay. 56-14, Hawaii over BYU. It was a good time for a penalty play.
That's right. See,
So
we have it all set up.
yes,
Don't worry.
yes. It's all scripted.
Number 11.
It was my last game on the radio calling UH football. It was your last game on TV.
It was my last game.
I was going to the Bay Area, and you were going to Seattle?
I was already in Seattle for 2 weeks, but I'd come back, and that was designed. We told Jim, I said, hey, you got to do a BYU game. I actually came back from Seattle. And so we did a couple of games like that. And yeah, I remember, seriously, I walked out of Lawrence Stadium with tears running down my cheek.
Me too.
Tears of joy and tears of sadness, because I knew then something very special in my life had come to an end.
Oh, that throwback. A little too tall for his target, and it is picked off, and a return forged by D'Angelo Mays. So Mays with his second interception of the season, and Utah State with a much-needed turnover forced here in this second quarter.
That's why I like the way Hawaii's playing right now, because Utah State's a good football team. You can see the way they're moving around on both sides of the ball. And we're more than holding our own. So it was a good game. It was a good game.
So do you remember drinking champagne in the booth after the BYU victory, after Hawaii?
No, I don't remember.
You don't?
No, I remember drinking water in the booth after that. Were we drinking champagne?
We were drinking. We popped champagne.
Wow.
Yes, we did.
It was an incredible victory, because it was years and years of frustrations. In fact, I could still see Walter Murray catching that pass. Oh, he never did.
Barnes off the play action through behind his receiver, and that one was right for the taking there, but Riddell Edwards wasn't able to hold it in.
It was champagne because I bought it, and it was the cheap stuff. That's why you don't remember it.
He's the mayor now, so we got to say it was water.
No, it's
It's like 100 years ago.
No, it's a great memory. 1989 was close to that, Larry. Close to that.
Look at the formation here, Coach. People they know you as the mayor, but you played football and coached football here.
Yeah. When this field was named Cook Field with original grass, and none of this was down here 60 years ago this year. This is when I came to Hawaii in 1965. I had to come here as a walk-on, even though I had scholarships. Larry Price says we give scholarships, but you have to come here and earn one. We don't do it long distance. It was basically like that. It was a challenge. And so this field has great memories for me. Great memories, both playing and coaching.
When he was coaching, did he say Katouche?
No, but he said other things that were I never met anyone in my life like Coach Price at that time.
Off and running, and he is going to be chased down from behind. And he is going to be brought down, getting past the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to bring up third down. That was Q Williams chasing down the play.
Yeah, so I still can't believe I'm in here with the two of you guys. I'm serious.
We're very honored to have you up here.
You can stay as long as you want, because you know more football than either of us.
No, I don't think so.
Big third down play here for the Aggies. Barnes going to try to buy some time, hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete, and that was Dijon Benton again, all up in Bryson Barnes' grill.
Yeah, he was, but also a really good cut. That was a coverage pressure there. That was excellent coverage. There was nowhere for him to go.
Dijon Benton was coached by Bronco Mendenhall, and he wanted to play for Bronco Mendenhall at New Mexico, and then when Bronco left for Utah State, and this is his first year with the Aggies, he had a decision to make. And you see right here, this is just pure power and persistence.
Yeah, working against the local boy, Tavo Motuapuaka. And so a punt here coming up for Utah State. Tama Wiliata is back to receive. He will clear the area, and it's going to take a very fortuitous bounce, and it will go out of bounds. Hawaii is going to be pinned deep. So we're going to keep things here. Kanoa Leahy along with Larry Beal, and now being joined by the mayor of Honolulu, Rick Blangiardi. You have cared about this program throughout your adult life, and you still do. You still come to all the games. What are your thoughts here as we embark on what appears to look like and feel like a new chapter for UH sports? Amid everything that is changing in and around the college football landscape, Hawaii is going to be joining the Mountain West as a full-time member. You have a new AD, you have a new president in place. What do you think about where the trajectory lies for Hawaii?
Well, look, the perspective of having seen this program over 6 decades, and I'm forever the eternal optimist. It's been a while since I have felt this optimistic or this confident. We went into this year believing that this would be Timmy's best team, and I'm glad he's had that opportunity, and they're playing well tonight and representing themselves well, and I think the rest of the season looks good. have great confidence in our new athletics director, Matt Elliott, and for that matter, Wendy Hensel. I was with them last week in Kona. As I listened to them talk, I listened to their leadership, their vision, their commitment, and the fact that we're talking about things now, both short and long term, that actually make sense, and the decisions that are being made, I feel very, very good. And I'm very happy for Timmy and his coaching staff. You know, for the last couple of years, it's been tough to watch, you know, with their records, but they've been well coached, and the kids have played hard. So now to see that manifest in wins is a great thing.
However, Alejado standing in his own end zone, and they're going to bring some pressure from that near side, and so he just gets it off in time.
Sorry, I got off the play. You got to stay on the play. I shouldn't. You asked me a question. It's a, you know, 6-decade question.
No, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, I just, you know.
No, it's also you're a politician now, so you know it's like a little filibuster.
I tell you, why is he calling me name like that? I got elected to office, but I would tell you, I'm not building a political career.
What's it like being mayor, by the way?
I actually love the job. Honestly, it's the responsibility, challenge, and privilege of a lifetime all rolled into one. It's great.
Alejado going to fire, incomplete, was looking at Nick Senecal across the way. Good coverage by Bryson Taylor, and it's going to bring up 4th down. Tough situation here for Hawaii to punt.
Yeah, that's not a good series.
So what is your take on the new Aloha Stadium? I know that's a state situation more than a city and county situation.
Well, yeah, more than it is. I mean, you know, not that I, you know, look, I mean, I've been frustrated by that from the time that it closed abruptly. And the fact that it's taken as long as it has to even get what there is on now on the books is a commitment for 29. And we're going to go through the whole decade of the 20s. And I say that in the context of the impact on the football program, because that is really an inhibiting factor.
All right, Gowers with the punt. Fair caught by Javen Jacobs. You want to stay for another segment?
I'll stay for another segment. Yeah, I don't want to overstay, but I'll stay for one more.
He's going to hang with us for another stretch here. We'll be back. Hawaii up 10-3. Welcome back. Hawaii up 10-3. 12:03 left to play in this first half. Kanoa Leahy up here in the booth. Very privileged to be joined tonight by Larry Beal and also the mayor of the city and county of Honolulu. Rick Langiardi continues with us as Utah State with the offense back out onto the field, and it is going to be a running play, and it's not going to go very far. In fact, they get back to the line of scrimmage, and that is it. Hawaii with the mob mentality there defensively.
I think we've been quicker up front from the opening series on defense, and it's showing right now. They're doing well against that offensive line.
I got a couple of questions for you, Rick, because as mentioned, you played, coached, announced for this University of Hawaii football program, remain a fan to this day. What memory stands out to you about your time as a player or a coach? That pass is caught right along the sideline. It was Brady Boyd, but we have a couple of penalty flags back near where that ball was let loose. Jackie Johnson III was in the area.
I think it's going to be roughing the passer.
Let's look like it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. The 57 defense. That 15-yard penalty is added at the end of the play. An automatic first down. The ruling in the field of targeting is under further review.
Oh, boy. That would be a biggie if Jackie Johnson III is somehow disqualified here because of this. Let's check it out.
Okay, so the elements required for targeting: crown of the helmet against a defenseless player with contact to the upper body, head and or neck.
I'd have to see that again on a replay.
Well, let's see what our rules analyst Kyle Galdera has to say.
Was I right, Kyle?
Yes, we have yet another person on headset. Kyle, what you got on that?
Larry, you're right there. Basically, because the passer is a defenseless player, you don't even have to worry about the crown of the helmet. Any hit to the head or neck area, which we're going to see right here,
hits him high.
It's a hit right to the head and neck area, and there is a launch component to it as well. So I think the replay officials are looking at it. I would vote that targeting will stand here on that play.
And that's a significant loss for Hawaii because he's out for the rest of this game.
Kyle, does it matter that targeting was called on the field? Does that have any weight in the decision to either remove it or uphold it?
It does help. It's similar to a situation where you have a fumble or an interception and a recovery called on the field. It's a lot easier to call a targeting as it stands or is upheld as opposed to adding it. So that is a good point by you, Kanoa. Knowing that it was called on the field, it'll probably make it a little easier to uphold that by the replay booth.
So if it is upheld, then he can't. All right, let's listen.
After review, the ruling in the field of targeting is upheld. For 57 disqualified from the remainder of the game. First down.
Oh boy. So you're talking about Hawaii now losing its 6 foot, 245-pound senior D end who entered this game tied for 14th in the FBS in sacks, and he is disqualified, and he is out the rest of the night. And you can tell the emotional reaction that is taking place on the sideline.
Yeah. Well, Timmy's trying to calm him down. So he's out for the rest of this game, but Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong, he is eligible for the next game. If the targeting occurred in the second half, he would have to miss the first half of the following game.
Kyle Goldera confirming that, and so here we go. Utah State with a red zone trip. This is Miles Davis, and he gets brought down close to the 10-yard line. You've had a little time to think. Any memories that you would like to bring up of your time playing or coaching at UH that stand out?
Well, if I talk about coaching, it was definitely, I go back to that win over the University of Washington, because that was incredible. That 10-7 win on September 15th, 1973.
This is a completion to Boyd, and he's going to be tackled very close to the line of game. But we have a penalty flag.
Good.
See if everyone got off the field.
Substitution problem. Yeah.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 12 players in the field at the snap. Penalties half the distance to the goal. Results in a first down.
Yeah.
How do you coach discipline?
How do you coach discipline? It's repetition after repetition. It's all the time. You're just very demanding, very exacting in all of your drills. You know, you just I don't know how else to say it. It's just a lot of repetition and the need and focusing on the fact that you have to be disciplined as a player. You don't want to do anything stupid. You don't want to beat yourself and do careless mistakes. But things happen in the course of a game. You know, it's a violent sport. You know, it's a contact sport, and things happen. People move fast.
Well, right now, moving fast in motion is Jacobs. They fake the toss to him, and Barnes is chopped down as he tries to cross the line of scrimmage.
But I really do think that discipline is coaching. Really well-coached teams are highly disciplined. And I'd say the players own it to be that way, but the coaches have to demand it, and they've got to work on that.
How much have you used the tenets of your coaching career throughout your professional and now political career?
No, look, yeah, all of it, because I've been always involved in trying to get people to drive human performance and exceed their own expectations, and it's a lot of coaching.
Barnes going to throw to the end zone. It is incomplete.
Nice coverage.
He was looking in the direction of Braden Hagan, but Devin King disrupting the flow.
Yeah, good coverage. Nice position.
It's good to be the king. We're standing next to him. He's right here. That's right. So here's the thing. Trail technique. He's got his back to the ball. You react as the defensive back as soon as the receiver tries to raise his hands to catch the football.
Right.
You have no idea where the ball is or whether the ball is coming. You react to the hand movement of the wide receiver.
Third down has been a challenge this year for Utah State. Again tonight, they're 0 for 4 on third down. Barnes stepping up.
Dangerous.
Stumbles, keeps his feet, fakes the throw, dives for the pylon. Does he get there?
Rule in the field as the runner is out of bounds, short of the goal line. Fourth down.
So that's going to bring up fourth down and a decision to make.
They're going for it. They're going for it.
I agree with Larry. They get the ball right on the goal line.
And this is what makes Barnes so difficult. He's trying to reach out to the pylon.
Wow. That's close.
Well, not only is it close, but if the ball,
He lost the ball.
If the ball goes through the end zone, that's a touchback for a Hawaii ball.
All he would need to have done is hit the pylon. If he lost it and it made contact with the pylon, it would have been a touchback. So fortunate there for Utah State. Now they toss it. It's Davis, races to the end zone and beats the pack. And Utah State a PAT away from tying this thing up.
So I'm going to go back like a few thousand years on that play. But I remember when the former athletic director here, Stan Sheriff, talked about this They used to run a little bit differently, but they called it the whirly bird option, where you fake one way, go back the other way, and you pitch it. And it's almost impossible to stop.
All right, so
I'm glad you invoked Stan's name while I was up here. A little bit of the past.
It is Rinker to try the PAT. Yeah, we have this is a good vibe here. We are sort of bridging to some other times, really wonderful and fruitful times in the history of UH sports and specifically UH football.
And, you know, and that's exactly why I'm the optimist. You asked me the question about the future of this, because we do have a great history and a great legacy. And yeah, the recent past has been difficult, but I'm a firm believer we can pull out of that and create a great future. That's how I look at it.
I think that's a perfect dismount there. Rick Langiardi, Mayor of Honolulu. Thanks for stopping by.
Just say I'm proud of both of you guys. You turned out okay despite what we thought.
You did all right, too. We'll be back. All right, so this drive could have ended very differently for Utah State on this play. Bryson Barnes diving for the pylon, seemed to lose control of the football, and it came awfully close to making contact with the pylon. Kyle Galdera, our rules analyst, what say you here?
Yeah, the quarterback Barnes there, he does lose control, but it looks like it sneaks out just before the pylon, so it's technically down at about the couple-inch line, so good call by the referees there.
And had it made contact with the pylon after he lost it, then
it would have been a touchback, so a game of inches here.
Most coaches hate when players do that and reach the ball out, because it's so easy for it to fall out unless you have like Kareem-like size hands or something like Shaq-like, where you know you're going to hold on to the ball. But here Hawaii 3-0, 3-3. Hawaii scores again, a touchdown to go up, and Utah State answers. A lower scoring game than we anticipated, but tightly contested.
Yeah, the back and forth cadence, I think, was something that a lot of people were expecting. That last drive for Utah State, by the way, 7 plays, 47 yards, 2 minutes, 27 seconds, and ended with the 1-yard Davis touchdown run. So here we are, 10-10, under 10 minutes to play in this first half as we trudge along. Landon Sims getting the rock and getting a gain of a handful.
Yeah, I wonder if Timmy is going to try to invoke more of the running game here, because Hawaii hardly runs the football, and if you feel like you have an advantage up front, here comes a blitz.
Alejado in trouble. He goes down, and a couple of Aggies in the area. You had Gabriel Iniguez, a former Rainbow Warrior, along with Carson Tujay, stepping up onto the scene, but Iniguez, who spent 2020 and 2021 in Hawaii, did not play in 2020, redshirted in 21, but here he is back in the islands and making the play.
Yeah. A Micah Alejado sandwich right there for those two defenders.
So 3rd and 13, Hawaii backed up after that initial 5-yard run by Sims. Alejado with some time over the middle, had a man wide open, but he threw behind Pofele Ashlock. And Mike Alejado, one of the attributes has always been described, the accuracy. There have been a couple of throws that haven't been so accurate here in this second quarter.
Well, and you see Timmy's talking to him right there, and Micah is the ultra competitor. He wants to be perfect. But if you're Utah State, you're trying to heat him up a little bit, speed him up a little bit. And we saw with the last sack, they're bringing more pressure, and they're trying to get Micah off his game.
Now Micah now 0 for his last 4 pass attempts, and it's a fake. Gowers is off and running. And is he going to get there? He is not. He is going to be stopped short at the 35 yards shy of what they needed to get.
That was 4th and 14. That's a long way to go for your punter, especially at this spot on the field. You're at your own 6-yard line where you're faking this.
Well, there was a play against Fresno State where it appeared as though Gowers had enough room had he elected to just read the field and run for a first down. Not exactly sure what it looked like there, but that looked like a designed fake.
Sure.
And Hawaii has gifted Utah State incredible field position on this drive.
Right, and this gives the Aggies the opportunity to seize all momentum here. Swing pass.
Trick play. And it's Garcia, the quarterback slash receiver, completes it to Jacobs, and he is in for 6. The Aggies sprinkling in a little trickery, and it leads to a treat as they take the lead here in this first half.
30-yard touchdown, and it was the perfect call at the perfect time.
The ruling on the field is the first pass was backwards. Resulting play is a touchdown.
So the first pass, of course, has to be backwards to allow for the forward pass by Anthony Garcia. Had a touchdown pass against Texas A&M, as mentioned, was brought in as a quarterback, but has transitioned now to a wide receiver. But that's one of the things that he brings to the table.
He can still throw. So huge momentum swing in this game here.
Rinker for the point after, and yeah, just like that, Hawaii sees a 10-3 advantage disappear and, in fact, get flipped. It is 17-10 Aggies.
So these two plays back-to-back. Fake punt, deep in your own end, fails. Next play, the Aggies go for the kill shot. Trick play. It's the perfect spot on the field to try that, and it's sudden change. So the Hawaii defense is rushing out onto the field, and you're just not expecting that.
Here's another angle of it. Executed to perfection, right?
Absolutely. Down the line, you got blockers in front, so the receiver, de facto passer, that's an easy pitch and catch. And we got to write this down because at 8-11 in the second quarter, this game completely flipped.
30 yards there from Garcia to Jacobs. Jacobs, who had a career best 153 all-purpose yards a couple of weeks ago against Vanderbilt, with his second touchdown reception of the season.
And the first lead of the game for Utah State.
And remember, Utah State, like Hawaii, coming off of a bye. And so both teams, you figure, well rested. They had a little extra time to game plan. And so maybe some of those wrinkles, a product of that. It is Zachary Robbins kicking off, and it will be fair caught once again by Hawaii.
You know, it's one of these things that we're seeing more and more, especially in the NFL, kind of the Dan Campbell effect, where let's roll the dice and go for it. Now, typically it's 4th and short. You're not expecting a fake punt, but 14 yards plus, given the yardage that the punter, you know, he's back there, what, 10, 12, 15 yards? So that's a lot of ground to cover. You're counting on the element of surprise, and it was surprising.
Yeah.
And the next play was even more surprising.
That risk-reward calculation, it ended up working against Hawaii, trying to get back to work here on offense, and that is a completion out to the near side. Jackson Harris on the catch.
Yeah, so an out route there, and this is a crucial drive for the Rainbow Warriors here. We're seemingly, I'm not saying you were in total control of the game, but you had momentum on your side. You've given it up. Now you got to try to get it back.
Alejado hit right after he lets that one go. Has a man. It is Harris. It's caught all the way down to the Utah State 20. We saw a couple of those a couple of weeks ago at Air Force. Jackson Harris getting behind the D, 43-yard connection that time. And Alejado paid the toll after the fact.
He hung in there and took a shot. And Jackson Harris, I mentioned this earlier, he told me his favorite route, the go ball. My speed against your speed.
And that pass, was it caught?
Yes.
They're going to say that is a catch, and that will be right at the first down marker. Nick Senecal, again, making his return after missing the last 4 games. This was a guy who in 2024 led the team with 63 receptions, 721 yards, and was tied for the team lead with 6 touchdown catches. Kind of a yak guy as well. That's an element that he brings, and that time able to go down to the turf to make the grab. And it's first and goal here for Hawaii at the 10. Alejado going to race to his right. Able to outrun that initial wave of pressure and out of bounds after a gain of a few.
So you got to come away with 7 here, right? I think it's really important. And Hawaii answered. Okay, because you're down, it's easy to drop your shoulders, hang your head. We gave up a big touchdown off of a gamble that failed, and now they're right back down in position to score as you look at the numbers for Micah.
But you're right, the feeling, the vibe of the game, even though it was a close game, it felt like Hawaii was winning some of the small battles across the line of scrimmage and elsewhere. If they're able to quick strike to kind of right the ship here, psychologically that would accomplish a lot.
Absolutely.
So second and goal. Alejado rolling to his right, tough angle to throw, and he's just going to pitch it out of bounds. And again, he gets
the
touched.
in the field, an incomplete forward pass. Third down.
This time by Tyree Morris.
So Micah wanted to throw to the left, and I think he was looking at the out route, the out or the seam. It wasn't there. So then he took off to the right side, and he's out of the pocket as long as the ball goes beyond the line of scrimmage. You're okay. It's not intentional grounding, but if your receiver is 3 feet out of bounds, that's not helpful either.
So a third down. Hawaii is 1 for 6 on third down here this evening. 45% overall on the year. Senecal in motion. Alejado going to throw to the back of the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown, Pofele Ashlock.
That is huge.
8-yard scoring strike. This was some smoke from Micah Alejado.
Oh, and he got blasted. So he runs the slant. Yep. Touchdown, Hawaii. And Micah, that was a fastball. He drilled that in there.
So Pofele Ashlock, a couple of TD receptions already here. And Kansei Matsuzawa for the point after. Right down the middle. And you mentioned it, Larry, the importance, just the emotional and psychological lift that provides to be able to assert yourself and drive the field in the fashion they did.
And he got to go up to get that ball. Let's just take a look at his feet.
Yeah, that put well in
Yeah,
bounds.
definitely. In fact, he got both down. But you know, they say, well, you might as well catch it because you're going to get hit either way, right? And he caught it. And Pofele Ashlock, who came into this game leading the Rainbow Warriors in receptions, shows his value, and he's got 2 in this game, 5 for the season, receiving touchdowns for Pofele Ashlock. And we're tied at 17.
And how about the bounce back by Micah Alejado? Remember, he had that stretch. The accuracy wasn't there, missed a couple of targets, was 0 for 4 on one stretch of passes. And on that drive, 4 for 5 for 72 yards and the touchdown.
Absolutely enormous in terms of the momentum of this game, because you had to answer there. And the catch by Harris over the shoulder flipped the field.
It is Javen Jacobs standing at the goal line here, awaiting this kick from Kansei Matsuzawa. Somewhat shallow kick. He fields it at the 16. He's going to try to return this. And he is going to get to about the 24, about the 25, where he otherwise would have been with the fair catch anyway.
So interesting. The first quarter, it kind of felt like both teams were running in quicksand. Offenses were struggling to do much. And now we're starting to see, all right, 34 points scored. I'm trying to remember the pregame crew. Who took the overs? Is the 3 of the 4 took the overs?
No, 3 of the 4 took the under, I thought. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out at halftime. But 34 points so far. Interesting. If you're into this sort of thing, Hawaii was favored earlier in the week, and then I believe it was Utah State that was favored just before kickoff.
This is Miles Davis running out to the outside, and look at him turn on the boosters. He is wrapped up, though, lassoed down after a gain of 5. Jemai Otis there defensively, along with Jaheim Wilson-Jones. Now, Utah State, prior to this possession, their last 3 field position starts were in plus territory at the 40 of Hawaii, 47, and at the 30. And they had 2 touchdowns on 2 of those drives. In their own territory here on this possession, 2nd and 5. Barnes going to tuck it and go. Does not slide, so it takes kind of an awkward dip down to the field and is ultimately hit by Kilinahi Mendiola Jensen.
He's dangerous running with the football. And here's the thing, if you're a defensive player and he's like in a half slide, you know, I mean, Les Murakami Stadium is really close. You can practice sliding in a second base over there. That was not elegant. So we got 3rd down now.
3rd and well, graphically it's 2. It looks more like 3.
Ball start. Brady 7. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And that's the tight end, Brock Lane.
And now you got 3rd and 8, so it totally changes the play calling situation here.
Utah State with a couple of big old tight ends. You got Brock Lane, 6'4", 240-pound grad student. Josh Sturzer's been around for a while as well, 6th-year player. Grad student, 6'3", 230 pounds. And they will use them sometimes in 12 personnel.
So we flip off the tight ends here.
Barnes, nowhere to go, but down.
Great coverage down the field by the Hawaii secondary, and then the pocket just caved in on Bryson Barnes.
Aiden McComber, the 6', 255-pound sophomore, another Bishop Gorman product, and he just beat his guy.
And what you notice there is
Number 8 for Hawaii is now number 20.
Is Hawaii defensively, they didn't put their hands in the dirt. This is one of these new things also where everybody's standing up, and we saw Fresno State do it against Hawaii, where you're not sure who's rushing, you're not sure what direction they're going in or who's blocking whom, and they got home.
Tama Wiliata, he has been so dependable in fielding punts, just making sure that he maintains possession. Of course, always has to change the jersey from 8 to 20, and that's because Kililahi Mendiola Jensen, who also wears 8, is also a special teams player. And here it is. Here's the quick change, the wardrobe change. It's like he's a host of the Oscars or something like that.
He needs black tie.
Big mahalo once again to the
Number
mayor.
20 for Hawaii.
yeah.
Now
Rick
back to number
Langiardi.
8.
As the official makes the announcement on the number switch. Yeah, big mahalo to Rick Langiardi for stopping by. That was a thrill to talk story with him. And yeah, this has been a fun night. Very privileged and very happy to have you up here as well, Larry.
I feel like you're missing Rich.
Rich who?
Rich is in New Zealand. He's boarding a plane right now.
1st and 10 here, Alejado. Quick trigger, that's Harris. And so we're starting to see a little bit more of that rhythm once again here. Last possession plus for the Rainbow Warriors.
So if Utah State is going to play off coverage, Michael will take that to the sidelines every time.
Yeah, there he is now to the opposite sideline, but unable to haul it in with Senecal.
Because those throws are layups. Layups lead to first downs. First downs lead to touchdowns. So now you got 3rd and 4 here, and it'll be interesting to see what the Aggies do defensively. Do they bring pressure? Because Hawaii is hardly running the ball here, so you know it's going to be a pass. And here we go.
Yeah, they're loading up
they
the
back
line.
out.
And that one is batted in the air and falls down to the turf for an incompletion. That's going to bring up 4th down. Brevin Hamblin was the one that disrupted that. But yeah, you saw how Utah State stormed the line pre-snap.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Fresno State did. I was wondering when we were going to see that. And, you know, everybody loves Micah Alejado, but he's 5'10". And so this is something you have to deal with. Now, there have been other quarterbacks diminutive in stature. What you're looking for is trying to establish a throwing lane so that he can see it. But, you know, balls get batted down all the time. I cover the 49ers. You know, Brock Purdy has passes batted down. It happens at every level.
And falling down to the turf there, making the fair catch was Javen Jacobs. So Utah State's offense, another crack at it.
Yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity there for the Hawaii offense. It felt like they had a chance to regain control of the game, and here we are still tied at 17. And now with 2:55 left, you give the Aggies the opportunity to, you know, ideal scenario for them is chew up clock, chew up clock, chew up clock, score just before you go into halftime, and regain possession.
Yeah, it hasn't been the most fluid of games, right? It's been very herky-jerky for both teams. There have been some impressive drives, but not a whole lot of consistency on either side.
No, and if I'm remembering this correctly, Utah State can double up because this is a Bill Belichick thing.
Yeah. We've got a new quarterback out there. It's Jacob Conover. Transfer from Arizona State. Throws on, and that is caught by Brock Lane. So Jacob Conover in his 2nd year with Utah State. Spent 2023 at Arizona State. Prior to that, spent 3 years at BYU. Now being looked upon here. Actually played quite a bit against Vanderbilt a couple of weeks ago after Barnes was knocked out of that game, and that pass broken up by Elijah Palmer. He wasn't having it.
And again, trail technique. You don't know where the ball is. You got to react to the receiver reacting to the ball. Hands go up, and you get your hands in there. That's exactly what you don't see where the ball is. And I got to wonder what the situation is with Barnes.
5 tackles and a PBU now for Elijah Palmer. 3rd down and 7. I'll call it 6 here for Utah State. That pass, enough for a first down, but the ball is popped loose. It is picked up mid-bounce by Braden
The ruling
Pagan.
on the field is a catch, a fumble recovered by the offense. First down.
And how about that for a good fortune?
Yeah, that was a fortuitous bounce there. And Conover's a good quarterback. I watched him play a couple weeks ago. The ball pops out, and it's one of 2 Aggies could have recovered it.
This is another deep try. Was looking the way of Brady Boyd, but it falls
This
out.
is the 2-minute timeout.
And that gets us to a 2-minute timeout. So a new quarterback running the show at the moment for Utah State. Tied at 17. Welcome back. Jacob Conover continues at quarterback for Utah State out of the timeout. We did see Bryson Barnes exit the blue tent, and so he was getting tended to. We're not sure as to exactly what the reason is. Remember, it was coming off of concussion protocol and cleared to play earlier this week. Here's Conover. Throws to the near side and has a man wide open. It is Brady Boyd, and that's going to be enough for a first down. As mentioned, Conover took over 2 weeks ago against Vanderbilt when Barnes got knocked out of that game, and he was solid. 11 for 14, 92 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No, he's a good quarterback, especially. We talk about, Hawaii has Luke Weaver, who's got a real strong arm. So does Conover.
You see him on the run. He can move a little bit. Throws to a man wide open in the end zone. Incomplete. Whew. Hawaii dodging a bullet there. Brock Lane was all by himself in the end zone.
And you think, oh, okay, a little break because the backup quarterback is in. Conover can play.
That left foot looked like it was on the line as well, so not sure that would have been a touchdown either way, but what a missed opportunity there for the Aggies.
Absolutely. And again, you think about the swings and momentum that we've seen in this game. The last thing Hawaii wants to see is a bomb for a touchdown from the backup quarterback.
For what it's worth, Bryson Barnes is warming up the arm on the sideline, but it remains Conover. It is a draw play, and it's going to go for yards. Miles Davis getting close to the 20-yard line. Man, he shoots out like a cannon.
Yeah, and there was just nobody there. Once he hit the hole, there was nobody on that side of the field for Hawaii until 20 yards later.
20-yard scamper there by Miles Davis. He has got a burst. Ball at the 22. Conover throws to the far side, too tall for Brady Boyd. As you mentioned, Utah State won the coin toss, deferred, so they will get to receive to start the second half, and there's a look at Barnes on the sideline.
Yeah, looks like he's okay. He went into the 10th. They will never tell us what was really going on in there. In fact, we saw it in the New York Giants game where Brian Dable, the head coach, went into the 10th to try to see how his quarterback
was peculiar.
doing. Yeah, it's also not allowed. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, you saw Kilinahi Mendiola Jensen there as Josh Sturzer was the intended target. He was a little too tall even for the 6'3 Sturzer. So 3rd and 10 here for Utah State.
And they're in field goal range here. So, unless they give up a sack or there's a holding penalty, they figure to be able to get 3. But it'll be interesting to see what they call here on 3rd and 10.
And you see what they've done on 3rd down. 1 for 7. Conover looking, has time, has all kinds of room to the left. Decides to set the feet, throws to the end zone. It is incomplete. Had Braden Pagan, who was running that back line. But Conamore was trying to give chase. A good throw may have resulted in a touchdown. Instead, Tanner Rinker coming out to try a field goal.
But you got to give a lot of credit to the Hawaii secondary right there, because it's impossible to cover receivers for 5, 6, 7 seconds. Quarterback, he's looking right, floats out to his left, looking at the back of the end zone, and so you hold him to a field goal attempt.
Rinker made from 20. This is from 40. The kick is up, and it is good. Not a lot of wind here this evening. In fact, when we showed up at the stadium, it was hot, hot, hot.
It was blazing. There's a lot of wind in this booth, mostly coming from me.
There's some hot air.
Yeah,
that's all the microphones here, maybe with the exception of Kyle Galderas. But good field goal there for Rinker, and Utah State up 20-17. So a moral victory, anything?
Sort of. Think about it, though. Hawaii gets the sack. Barnes has to leave the game. Then you get the crazy pass down the seam, the fumble which advances the ball, and then another 20-yard run to set up the field goal. Just this game, the momentum is flipping. It's like a seesaw.
It has been a strange game. I mean, not only is Bryson Barnes, at least at the moment, and on that last drive, not in the game. You also have the targeting penalty that was upheld against Jackie Johnson III, so Hawaii without his services for the rest of the night. Yeah, there just hasn't been a very discernible flow as you take a look at Gio Kafensis. Great story. Of course, that name really royalty around the University of Hawaii football program. You had, 8 family members total of the Kafensis Ohana that have played football at UH?
Yeah, he plays mostly on special teams at this point, but obviously when you talk about the Kafensis name, it is royalty in Hawaii football lore. 5 Kafensis brothers have played for UH. Mark, Kurt, Kent, who sadly passed away of cancer after a long battle in 2024. Kyle and Clay. Gio is the son of Mark and Deborah, and the Utah State coaches are very high on him. And I think if your last name is Kafensis, you're playing DB, you're like a heat-seeking missile. I mean, it's just incredible. Incredible football family.
Yeah, I always told this story. I used to think that Kafensis was the name of a formation or play because Pops and Rick or whoever was calling the game yelled out that name so much. This is a completion to Jackson Harris. His name becoming fairly ubiquitous this season for Hawaii offensively. Under a minute to go. Rainbow Warriors with 2 timeouts to work with. Utah State also with 2 timeouts for what it's worth on its side. Alejado, he's going to try to tuck it and go. Nice little shimmy move there to break loose from Bronson Olival Jr., who was giving chase. And out of bounds he goes. That puts Hawaii back into positive numbers in rushing. Prior to that, they had -1 net yard rushing as compared to 229 passing yards.
Slight imbalance.
A little bit.
So this is, again, I keep saying this is a big series here with 49 seconds left. It's an eternity when you have timeouts at your disposal. There's Ashlock in motion.
Alejado going to try to get it to him, but he stumbled. Unable to make the play.
So in the run-and-shoot offense, Ashlock is what they call the adjuster. You see him go in motion. He has the option to run a variety of routes depending on the defense, the coverage, and the leverage. So he ran an out route. It was there, but he stumbled just as the ball came his way. And so, instead of a gain that sets up, the potential first down, now you've got a 3rd and long situation.
Alejado going to throw to the near side. It's Harris. How sure-handed has this guy been this evening? Gets first down yardage and more all the way to the Utah State 40.
So you're in a 3-by-1 formation. And if Harris has any room, he's a big receiver. Yeah, perfect ball by Micah. And Harris, the transfer, he went to Stanford and didn't get any playing time. Very frustrated. And when he met with the coaching staff here, he felt like this is home. All right, so now Hawaii's at the 40-yard line. A chance to do some business here with 40 seconds left in the half.
15 yards on that last pass play. Alejado, they're going to run a screen. And this is Sims with a head of steam. Gets twisted down about a yard shy of the line to gain. The clock is ticking. Hawaii will use one of its remaining 2 timeouts.
So this is the chess match right here, because the Aggies show pressure.
Second charge from out of the half. Hawaii, 30 seconds.
They're
With
running.
the game clock operator, please set the game clock to 30 seconds, please. 3-0.
I'm talking.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So they're running a zone blitz. A couple guys back out. Those that are coming up the field, it's the perfect call in that situation. And again, we started to talk about this earlier. Anthony Arsenault, he's trying to stay ahead of the sticks in terms of, all right, what is our down and distance situation? He recommends plays to Timmy. Timmy will say, I love that, or no, we're not doing that. So obviously the head coach has the ultimate responsibility and ultimate call, but they are for the most part in sync, and they've got the play sheets for every situation. And so his job is to stay one play ahead at all times, and that's not easy.
It's very interesting talking with Anthony Arsenault, the way he thinks the offensive side of the game. Trying to think several steps ahead. 2nd and 1. Alejado steps up in the pocket, has a man wide open. It's caught. It's Ashlock, and he's got a hat trick. 3rd touchdown catch of the game. 31 yards to the Holly.
Perfect ball by Micah. And he's looking at him all the way.
The protection was sound. Micah with enough time to let that route develop. And as Rich Miano would describe him, prolific Pofele. And he has been prolific here this evening. Hitting pay dirt 3 times. Masuzawa for the point after. That's money. And Hawaii on top with 24 seconds left in this first half.
Over's looking pretty good,
If you're into such things.
Yeah. For those who care, I didn't realize that Rich had that alliteration in his repertoire, but now I know. And Ashlock, I mean, he's so good. We talked about his role in the offense. I don't want to get too deep into run and shoot versus air raid, but, well, I will, actually.
I mean, what's stopping you?
Yeah, so the idea is generally, especially in run and shoot terminology, run to a spot where they are not, as opposed to air raid. And there are air raid concepts within this offensive structure. The routes are more predetermined. But Pofele, he has choice on most of these routes where he can look at the leverage of the defense and decide, I go inside, I go outside, depending on what he sees. The key thing here is that Micah has to read the same defense. If they don't read the same thing, it's an incomplete pass or it's a pick.
Yeah, that's part of the trust, that chemistry, that everybody is on the same page. This is going to be returned. This is Jaden Jacobs, and he gets walloped. And he was able to hang on to it, but he is upended at the 22-yard line, and there is some hitting going on out there on the field. That time it was Sitani Mikaele, 5'11", 240-pound freshman out of Farrington. We had the mayor in here, and now it's a governor making a play.
Well, and Mikaele looks like his shoulder is jacked up a little bit, but he showed up, and he showed up angry.
Yeah. What a game. 3 ties, 2 lead changes here tonight. And how about Pofele Ashlock? Getting back to him. He entered this game on a streak of 24 straight games with 4 or more receptions. So he has extended that to 25. Coming into tonight, that was tied for the longest such streak in FBS football.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Utah State will try to see with 2 timeouts left if they can maybe respond here.
With the
18
game clock
seconds on the
operator,
clock.
please set the game clock to 20 seconds. 2-0, please.
Prior to the intermission, remember, they will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. Pofele Ashlock, all smiles. You can understand that. Rudda is shown out tonight. 4 catches, 71 yards, 3 touchdowns. throw on the run is a perfect strike. And a good move to evade some of the pressure. This is Kahanu Davis on the catch. Davis out of Hawaii and Kapa'a High School on the island of Kauai. That is his third catch of the year. Had 2 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown coming in. He's in his 3rd season with Utah State. A 20-yard gainer there.
You go to Kalaheo?
No, he's from Kalaheo on the island of Kauai.
Oh, okay.
But Kapa'a High School is where he played his prep football.
So here's the situation now. You got 12 seconds left. Ball's at the 38-yard line.
The ruling on the field is a catch and a first down. There was a defensive helmet off. Utah State has elected to start the game clock on the snap.
Meanwhile, Utah State did call a timeout. They have 1 remaining.
So I assume that was in lieu of a 10-second run off of the clock, which would have left 2 seconds left.
Oh, so they actually put the timeout back up on the board here for Utah State. So they still have 2 timeouts. 12 seconds in this first half. It remains Jacob Conover at quarterback, by the way.
Right down.
He will get first down yardage iced out of bounds there. We'll see what the flag is about. Probably coming back.
We've had a bunch of penalties.
Holding, number 72, offense, 10-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's George Miley. He has been under a microscope here this evening.
Yeah, if you're an offensive lineman and they're talking about you a lot in the broadcast, it's probably not a good night.
That is the 9th penalty for Utah State here.
I think
this
it's
evening.
the 3rd for him alone. It's a rough night. All right, so 3 seconds left here. Hawaii's going to be in a deep prevent defense, and I would expect that the Aggies will just run the ball.
They do run the ball. This is Davis, and he gets rudely met at the 40 for Del Edwards, saying ole.
That's what like 6'2", 210 brings. At the cornerback position also. You'll find any corners that want to come up.
Even Timmy Chang delivering the stink face after that smackdown. And Hawaii takes a 24-20 advantage into the halftime period. Scott and the gang, they'll break down what we saw through the first 2 quarters. It was kind of herky-jerky.
Yeah.
An odd rhythm for sure. But after the dust settles, the first 30 minutes, it's Hawaii on top. Welcome back. Here are the Pizza Hut halftime statistics. The rushing yards to passing yards, quite the ratio there on the Hawaii side, Larry.
284-2. This is what Hawaii does. And the fact of the matter is, they're up 24-20, so hard to argue with where they are right now. I have to wonder about where they might be had they not gone for that fake punt, which then resulted in a trickeration touchdown for Utah State. You have to give the Rainbow Warriors a lot of credit, I think, because they were able to regain momentum just before halftime when it felt like Utah State was grabbing this game. And so we'll see how I have no idea what's going to happen in the second half, because this has just been back and forth, and neither team has been able to sustain much momentum thus far.
Yeah, again, we're here at Clarence T.C. Ching Athletic Complex. Kanoa Leahy and Larry Beal still with us, thankfully. We appreciate you donning the headset here tonight. Of course, Rich Miano is out on vacation exploring different corners of the globe with his family, so we are very fortunate and stoked to have Larry with us. But how important is it for Hawaii, once the offense does come back onto the field, to try to establish more of a rushing game?
Absolutely. I mean, here's Bronco Mendenhall here. That's a serious dude right there. I can only imagine what he said in the locker room at halftime. But, you know, Timmy Chang was pretty fired up as they went into the locker room as well. So a couple things to look for here. Are we going to see Barnes? Is Barnes healthy enough to play? And if so, what does that mean? Because Conover is not going to run the ball. So that changes your defensive strategy a little bit. It looks like, we saw Barnes warming up. It looks like he's planning on coming out. I mean, they haven't taken his helmet away, which would often be the case if they're not going to let you back in the game.
Well, a couple of personnel developments. Bryson Barnes, who left the game, went to the blue tent, was checked out for something. We have no other information beyond that. Did exit the tent, but did not enter the game. It was Jacob Conover who conducted the last couple of drives for Utah State. But we have seen Bryson Barnes warming up out there on the sideline here during halftime. And also, it needs to be reiterated, no Jackie Johnson III here tonight the rest of the way for Hawaii. He received a targeting penalty, and so he was disqualified from the game. So a couple of key pieces that could impact things here. We'll have to wait and see what happens on this opening offensive possession for Utah State. They won the coin toss, deferred, and so they are receiving here to start this second half. And it's going to be an onside kick attempt. The ball just freezes, and Hawaii's going to have to touch it and pick it up. It didn't go the necessary 10-yard requirement. And so Hawaii on special teams, they've tried a couple of things here tonight, Larry, that have not exactly panned out.
I love the optimism of trying this, and it's a great idea. The execution, not what you're looking for, because if you looked at if the ball goes 10 yards, they're recovering it. And it's a good job by Kansai. He just needed a little more juice on that kick. But now here we go again, because Utah State has the ball in Hawaii territory. And Barnes, he's back in the game.
Bryson Barnes is out there. 5 for 11, 45 yards, but has also rushed for 21 yards here this evening. And it's going to be a running play. This is Miles Davis. Nice little deke move there to get past the line of scrimmage. And is finally wrapped up and brought down by Lester Langafuaina.
Gain of 9, though. So here you go. The kicking miscue. Pickup of 9. Suddenly Utah State is feeling pretty good.
Oh, and that pass almost got jumped. Instead, it gets to Miles Davis, and he will now get the first down here for the Aggies as they move the sticks.
I love the gambling nature, but sometimes it backfires, and you're giving the Aggies a chance to stay in the game or take control of the game.
Are you also perhaps giving the Aggies too much credit? Does it feel like Hawaii, if they just play straight up, that they're good enough to win this game? Does it sometimes maybe offset that thinking?
I totally agree with you.
There's Barnes in the pocket, throws down the line, has a man wide open. It is a perfect strike. Brock Lane in for 6. 32-yard scoring connection. And Brock Lane with his second touchdown catch of the year.
Well, I got to give them credit, because they've taken advantage of 2 gift opportunities and turned them both into touchdowns.
Hawaii trying to go with the trickery to start this second half.
And Barnes appears to be healthy.
Yeah, certainly on that throw. No problem for Bryson Barnes. Now Tanner Rinker on for the point after. He has been perfect this season. Oh, but that one gets blocked.
Special teams play made by Hawaii.
Looked like Elijah Gibson, defensive back for the Rainbow Warriors out of Studio City, California, and Glendale Community College. Looked like he was the one that may have gotten in there.
Second look.
Oh no, that was Lester Langafuaina. Looked like Lester was the one that broke through, and those long go-go gadget arms of his getting a piece.
It's good to be 6'4".
That is a tremendous play, and that could prove to be vital here in what has so far been a very tightly contested game between Hawaii and Utah State.
And we're talking about the momentum swings here. It's just crazy. Back and forth.
Another special teams play. Some good, some bad, certainly for Hawaii. And when it's gone bad, it's gone really bad, because both special teams trick play attempts have resulted in Utah State touchdown drives. This ensuing kick is fair caught. Now, a couple of trending numbers when Hawaii has led at the half. They are 4-0 this year. They're currently down 26-24 here. Not even a full minute gone by into the third quarter. Hawaii is 3-0 when they equal or have fewer turnovers than their opponent this season. Right now, Hawaii with the one Micah Alihado interception. Utah State without a turnover yet.
Well, again, I feel like I've said this numerous times tonight, but another pivotal offensive series for Hawaii, because you've granted momentum back to the Aggies.
This is going to be Landon Sims. The rushing game has not been prevalent here tonight for Hawaii. He gets about 2.5 there. That scoring drive for Utah State, 3 plays, 44 yards, the 32-yard touchdown pass from Barnes to Lane. Took 59 seconds for Utah State to reclaim the lead here.
Well, you know, obviously the Rainbow Warriors don't rush the ball a lot, so this is an attempt to try to keep the defense honest. We show blitz back out.
And that pass gets home to Senecal. Did he get a foot down? Yes, he did. Oh, he had to stretch to the maximum there and keep that foot on the turf inbounds, and he did.
Full extension, high pointing the ball. Nice job.
11-yard gain there. Alihado to Senecal. Alihado coming to the near side and going down to the turf. That's Senecal again. Make the catch. I guess the question becomes, you look at the fake punt, you look at what they did here on the opening kickoff of the second half. The question is, how necessary is that under these circumstances against this opponent? Of course, hindsight being 20/20, of course you're going to say, oh, they shouldn't have done that. But you wonder about the mentality there. Those are going to be some of the questions asked as Landon Sims on the draw play gets a solid game.
Well, and again, the draw is going to work here because Utah State is selling out to try to get home to the quarterback. They're figuring you're going to pass on every play. So, you know, we're going to pin our ears back, get up the field. So you run a screen, you run a draw. Those plays can succeed based on the way Utah State is attacking this Hawaii offense. But I'm with you. You know, if you feel you're better than the opponent, and that's what the Hawaii coaches basically intimated, that they felt they were more physical. Let's look at this play right here, because we've got pressure up the middle.
Third and a Manapua here for Hawaii. And look, going under center there as Hawaii again pulling off a little bit of a new wrinkle. Was that Tama Uiliata? Yes, that was Uiliata who was in motion and then sank behind center and was able to trudge forward for Hawaii's own version of the
tush
push.
Well, the thing with Uiliata is there's not much tush to push because he's small. But it worked. It worked, and I like you know, the trickeration that they used right there.
And that pass is caught, but it won't be for much. Oh, now they're going to say that it was incomplete. That was also intended for Uiliata. Yeah, I don't know what you want to call that. The brotherly shove, the Tama tumble. Like, I'm not sure.
Tama tumble. Okay. I like it.
Okay.
You went with Tokyo Toe and on the radio, and I was trying to go for Sake Bomb.
Yeah, we had a few votes for that.
I felt like it was kind of a landslide in your favor with Tokyo Toe.
Still getting some people who are like, let's just go with Kikaida. Why didn't we go with Kikaida?
Well.
That would have been pretty good around here for sure. Alejado in trouble, and he goes down. They've been getting to him. Now, the sack numbers, obviously, in college, that affects the rushing numbers. Part of the reason why we're seeing that discrepancy.
Yeah, so Micah, he was looking left and then just got buried.
It was Tevita Tuha who first touched him, and then Chris Joe, the guy with 2 first names, who comes in and finishes the deal. Third sack for Utah State here. And it has amounted to negative 22 yards for Hawaii.
That was a coverage sack because Utah State did a great job in the secondary.
So 3rd and 15. Alejado gonna fire, has a man, and he gets popped. It was Brandon White who paid the price, and he is down on the field.
Yeah, seam route there and just too high.
Officials timeout for an injury.
Yeah, Brandon White put in a vulnerable position here And he got hit hard by Ike Larson. Remember, Larson making his return from suspension, but it may have been the way Brandon White landed on the field that created the worst of this. Yikes.
So it's a shot to the ribs, which is the first impact, and then straight down crown of the helmet into this artificial turf surface, which does not have a ton of give to it. So, you know, you just hope he's okay. You see head injuries can be really scary.
So they're looking at Brandon White, concern for the Kentucky transfer. We'll be back. So we are thankful to see Brandon White making his way back to the sideline under his own power. He did walk, however, all the way back to the locker rooms for further observation. White with 3 catches for 63 yards here this evening. Took a very difficult and awkward spill, like he
offside, number 36, defense in the neutral zone causing offensive reaction. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
It'll still be 4th and a little over 10 yards here for Hawaii, but yeah, Brandon White seemed to go helmet first to the turf, and it looked really scary when we watched the replay.
Yeah, during the commercial break, we were watching and the medical staff attending to him and just hoping that he gets up and able to walk off the field, but doubtful that we would see him anytime soon, returning tonight.
Meanwhile, Hawaii forced to punt here. Billy Gowers fields it. This time goes end over end into the Manoa night sky, and it is fair caught inside the 10. They're going to start things at the 6-yard line. Are the Aggies?
You know, so now it's up to the Hawaii defense to try to regain control and any sort of momentum, because Utah State, even though they're pinned down deep here, they've got a chance to add to the lead, which has not been the case at any point tonight during this game. And again, it's going to come back, you know, it's going to be really interesting in the post-game news conferences, the 2 special teams gambles that backfired that led to Aggie touchdowns.
But again, like we saw several times in the first half, they're pinned pretty deep in their own territory, but now some running room for Miles Davis. And he is brought down from behind by Justin Sinclair.
And he bounced it to the outside. A good job by reading the pressure from the Hawaii defense, forcing him, and he was able to bounce it and get good yardage.
50 rushes for 314 yards on the season coming in for Davis, and now Barnes in trouble, and he goes down. Carson Stoklinski was in the thick of things there for Hawaii, but several big boys up front for the Rainbow Warriors making that defensive play happen.
Well, and this is exactly what you need after positive yardage on that run, and now you've got the sacks, and now you've got the chains on your side. 3rd and a long 5, maybe call it 6.
Stoklinski, the guy they refer to as the Vanilla Gorilla, making his presence felt there. But a big 3rd down for the Aggies. 3 receivers to the near side. Barnes looking to run. He gets loose, gets to the 1st down marker, slides, and gets hit. Awfully close to a possible penalty, but no flag coming out. And it is a 1st down for the Aggies.
Well, and think about it. This is a guy who, well, we don't know what the real injury was, but it appeared to get his bell rung earlier. Fearless. He's got nothing down the field. He wants to pass the ball. Instead, he sees the middle of the field open. That's very close to a personal foul.
Jalen Smith came in there after the slide seemed to be initiated, so could have very well been a penalty, but Hawaii avoids that. Barnes with time, all kinds of time. Now he's going to try to run again. Penalty flag now comes out after a gain of 5. Yeah, talking with Kevin McGivern, the offensive coordinator for Utah State.
Holding for 72. Offense half the distance to the goal from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
George. Almost painful to point out that once again that is George Miley, but Kevin McGivern talking about Barnes, saying, hey, look, we love when he runs. It's not that he's afraid to run. He's not afraid of the contact. He's a very physical runner. We dig that about him, but it's almost like we want him to take it a little bit more easy at times and maybe not be so aggressive, putting himself in harm's way.
So again, you see on the rush there, if you're going to, you can grab on the interior. It's when you grab outside the frame, and it's just so obvious to the refs, and that's what they're calling. I mean, for my opinion, every single holding call seems to be the exact same play. he's doing the same thing. Again, they're going to let you hold inside like the chest plate area. If you're going to wrap, you're going to get called.
He's got the C on his jersey, one of the captains on the team. He's been flagged numerous amount of times here this evening. This is Davis with some blockers in front of him. It's out to the 20 and more. And he's going to be shy of a first down. Gets about a yard past the original line of scrimmage.
Really nice play design because you're looking out to the left. You set up the screen to the right side. And you got a couple of blockers in front. Hawaii rallies to the football to set up 3rd and 9.
Much more manageable 3rd down attempt here for Utah State. Crowd trying to turn up the volume knob here at Clarence T.C. Ching. Empty backfield for the Aggies. Barnes going to flip it out. It is caught by Boyd, and he runs into a rock. Wow. Luther McCoy paid a little bit of the price himself, but boy, did he get in the way.
Yeah, they both got rocked there.
That was Peter Manuma, who also torpedoed in. So you had Manuma, you had McCoy, and just smash mouth football
20.
on that occasion.
Yeah, that was like hammer meets nail.
Tamo Wiliata back to receive this punt. So the Hawaii defense does the deed here, forces the Utah State punt. Wiliata fields it at the 34-yard line. So Hawaii will get started there, trailing by 2 points, 6:40 left to play in quarter number 3. Welcome back. You know, no better time than now to wish this guy a happy 21st birthday. That's right, Micah Alihado celebrating his 21st birthday. No better gift than if he's able to help finagle a victory here against longtime Mountain West and previously WAC opponent Utah State.
Happy birthday to Micah. Happy birthday. Let's get a win for a Micah present here.
Nick Howell, the defensive coordinator for Utah State. Familiar face across the way for Hawaii as Jackson Harris makes that catch. Howell was with Bronco Mendenhall at New Mexico last year. Prior to that, a couple of years as DC at Vanderbilt. And so this is the 4th time that Timmy Chang and these Rainbow Warriors have gone up against Nick Howell-led defense. And last year, Hawaii broke through and got the win against the Lobos. Vandy took the 2 meetings there. And that is a completion to Ashlock. So Pufele Ashlock with his 5th reception of the game.
So again, they're playing off on the outside receivers. These are layups for Micah. And so he'll take them every single time in this offense.
Yard short of the first down marker there. By the way, Timmy Chang celebrated his 44th birthday on Thursday. Oh, that one got up on Pufele Ashlock in a hurry. Right when he turned his head, it was on his face mask, and he's able to make the grab. No birthday song for Timmy?
Well, it's not tonight. I mean, why did you tell me when it was?
It's too belated?
I would have done it on the radio with you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So Ashlock, he had 4 catches in the first half, 3 for touchdowns. That's a pretty good ratio. That is highly efficient. Happy birthday, Timmy. That's all I have.
Well, that's all we wanted.
Okay.
1st and 10. Alihado with some time. He's going to heave it down the sideline. Oh, the receiver stopped running the route, though. Looked like Harris cut it off.
Okay, so this is run and shoot 101 here. If Harris sees the coverage and Micah does not see the same coverage, you get that. All right? I mean, in the run and shoot, so especially if you're the outside receiver, if you can't get over the top against a defensive back, you stop. You're running a comeback. Micah is thinking, I'm going to throw the ball over the top, and that's why it was incomplete, unfortunately not intercepted.
Alihado fires to the seam, and that'll be enough for a Hawaii first down. Catch made there by Nick Delgadillo, a 6-foot sophomore out of St. Louis School. We saw him get some action earlier in the season as well. So with Brandon White leaving the game, not sure exactly what his status is. We're seeing some of the other guys deeper on the chart at the receiver spot here for Hawaii. Alejado gets tripped up, and that's going to be a loss. That's Chris Joe once again bothering Alejado.
So you had two receivers split left. They're running goes, and you can see what a slip there, and Micah has nothing to do with the football. He's just got to eat it right there.
2nd and 13. Alejado has some room to run here to the near side. Has to put the move on the defender and is taken down well out of bounds. No flag is thrown. Now the engagement took place as Alejado was still inbounds, or at least crossing the sideline. But the defender held on and followed through with the tackle, which makes it look interesting here. What do you think, Larry?
I mean, you're tackling him in the parking lot at this point. Like, that's way out of bounds.
Let's see what Kyle Galdera, our rules analyst, has to say about that, Kyle.
So I actually agree with the call on the field. I think the initial contact was made inbounds. He followed him out of bounds, but nothing extra, nothing that warrants a penalty there.
All right, so 3rd and 6. Alejado to the far side. It goes through the hands of his intended target, Nick Senecal.
So, Kyle, at some point, don't you have to let go?
So as long as you're not going to kind of add that suplex to it, if it's a natural action out of bounds, that's fair game to me.
Do you think the fact that they were so far deep into the sideline with the other Utah State players, maybe they didn't see it?
Knowing that you have two officials there, I think they had good eyes on it. You had the officials trailing out of bounds to kind of clean up the colors too. I like that call.
So here now is the Tokyo Toe to attempt a 46-yard field goal. Made one earlier from 31 to give Hawaii the lead. It is up, and it is pristine. He does it again. That is now 18 straight, make that 19 straight made field goals going back to last year. 18 straight made field goals to start this year. Brother can't miss.
There used to be a wrestler named Mr. Perfect. This is Mr. Perfect right here, 17.
Hawaii in front. All right, so the usual celebration disrupted this time after that last field goal make by Kansei Matsuzawa. He and long snapper Jack Mowry have kind of had a tradition of that celebration, but the officials party poopers this evening.
No sense of humor.
Matsuzawa now kicking it away. Utah State looking to return this. And it's going to be brought out to about the 29-yard line by Javen Jacobs. That's now 19 straight made field goals for Matsuzawa going back to last season. The record for consecutive made field goals in University of Hawaii program history is 20 by the great Jason Elam. So Matsuzawa is approaching that.
Number 20
tremendous
for Hawaii is now back to number 17.
So my first game calling UH football on the radio was Jason Elam's first game. And he kicked the game winner, I think it was against Iowa.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, great to have Larry here kind of coming full circle on loan from ABC 7 in the Bay Area. Of course, news and sports anchor there. As this pass is complete to Brady Boyd as Utah State now once again playing from behind. Back and forth we go in this seesaw-like competition.
It's a really interesting play design there because it looks like you got the counter action going and then you pull it and rip it down the seam for the first down.
15-yard gainer there.
And Barnes looks fine.
He does. Again, left the game late in that first half. Gave way to Jacob Conover, but he is back out there, although he takes a lick there. Dijon Benton looked like he was trying to slather on a little extra Dijon mustard on that hit.
Nice. Saving that all game?
I wanted you up here with me when I did it.
Nice job. Gets up the field, doesn't give up on the play, turns, runs, and runs Barnes down.
You figure there was a little added motivation here this evening for Benton, going up against his former coach, Bronco Mendenhall, and both were at New Mexico last year. Barnes, that is off the mark, had a man open in the pocket. but it falls incomplete. It was Kahanu Davis.
So I'm going to just throw this out here. Actually, let's see what happens on the third down play, because this is kind of important.
Okay. Oh, all right.
I got an idea.
Okay.
Our producer Dan Schmidt is like quivering right now.
Yeah.
I already called him like 5 ideas today, and he said, no, can't do that.
Yeah, but this one you didn't run by him.
Yeah, I don't care, actually.
All right, here we go, third down. Barnes being chased, throws off the back foot, almost got it there to Brock Lane. That's going to bring up fourth down.
So close. In fact, so close to being a sack and so close to being a completion. Take another look. Barnes is so mobile. It makes it so difficult for defenders. That's a really catchable ball. You know, the old saying, if you get your hand on it, you should catch it. I mean, it's easy for me to say.
Yeah, it's easy from up here.
No, it's very simple.
Landon Rico on the punt. And it is Tom Owiliata who is back. You see the punt averages tonight here for Rico. And that one will be fair caught at the 19-yard line. 1:51 left to play here in the third period. We're keeping things here. Now, the reason you're even in town, Larry, you came a few days early.
Yes.
You're going to be emceeing the tip-off banquet for the Rainbow Warrior basketball team next week, Thursday. So that sort of led the dominoes lined up here for you to be able to sit in the booth with us tonight.
So that is a fundraiser for the UH basketball program. What I would like to propose, and I probably should have done this about an hour ago, is if you folks like what you're hearing with this broadcast, okay? No. This is good. This is good. It's another fundraising opportunity. Send $10 to the Hawaii Food Bank.
There you go.
Okay? Let's make it a win-win. Or you could send it to Nakoa.
Okay.
And if you don't like my presence on the broadcast and you're aching for Rich Miano, Kanoa will donate $10
oh, there you go.
for everybody that hates what I'm doing. So I think it's a win-win for almost everybody.
Okay, yes.
But let's get the Hawaii food back. You know what? The holidays are coming up. Go to the supermarket. Everything is like triple what it was a few years ago.
That's
right. People need help. Let's help people. So if you like it, or if you just like Hawaii football, you don't even have to like me.
What's not to like, my friend, as that pass is complete to Jackson Harris? What's not to like about the way this guy has been playing?
He's having a game.
The last couple of ball games. Wrestled down after a Hawaii first down. Yeah, I kind of thought there might be a catch to that whole setup there, but you know what?
It's so much money.
It's for a good cause. Said who?
Well, you do like 1,000 games for Spectrum.
But no, I think the sentiment is right. I think donating to the food bank, I mean, heck, even Nakoa in this day and age, all kinds of ample opportunities to help some legitimate causes that have an impact on the community.
Absolutely.
Right? When University of Hawaii sports is flowing, when the football team is playing well, it positively impacts this community.
It makes everybody feel better, and that's one of the things. I'm really glad you mentioned that, because I talked with Matt Elliott about this, the new athletic director, when I met with him a couple of months ago. One of the things that you have here in this community is if you are a successful UH football player and you're homegrown talent, you have it just opens so many doors for the rest of your life. I'm showing AA get pressure here.
Yeah, loading up that line defensively.
They back out.
Hawaii snaps it with 1 second on the play clock, and that dart goes through the hands of Harris. And that will be, well, we have a penalty flag.
That is the end of the third quarter.
All right, well, maybe there is no flag. Welcome back. Let's check out tonight's Hyundai head-to-head stat line. We're looking at the rush to pass play selection. The ratios there for Utah State, 26-29 rush to pass. For Hawaii, 17-42. Mike Alihado, 26 of 42 for 348 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has also thrown an interception.
It doesn't even seem like 17 rushes. It feels like 3, but you know they're spaced out.
So to the fourth quarter we go. Hawaii holding on to this 1-point advantage. Third down out of the break, and that pass is caught. Is it enough for a first down? How did Pofele Ashlock haul that one in?
Because that's what he does. So again, the Aggies are showing pressure up the middle, and Micah's going to go outside with the ball. Spider-Man pulls it in. First down.
One-handed style. Draw play. Here's Sims. Gets through that first wave of defenders. First down yardage and more. Tumbles forward. Helmet pops off. And he makes the signal to move the chain.
Former walk-on to scholarship player. When I was calling games here, his dad wore number 30 and ran with aggression just like that. And he'll have to come out of the game for one play because his helmet came off.
16 yards there on that carry by Landon Sims. Of course, it is a lineage. Travis, part of the 92 WAC champion and Holiday Bowl Hawaii team.
Tough kid.
First down, they're going to swing it out to Barfield. He had started in motion. He's got a burst. He gets first down yardage.
Great play call. Stretch the defense side to side. Again, we were talking about run and shoot. That's not your standard run and shoot play. You didn't see that in the June Jones offense. And I hope June's not listening, because me describing his offense is a little bit like your house painter talking about how Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel. Hey, Mike, I think you missed a spot. But
I would have gone with a different color scheme, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
This pass is complete to the far side, and that is Blaze Kamoku getting in on the action. Out of Kamehameha Kapalama. Spent a year at Olivet Nazarene in Illinois, NAIA program, before coming to Manoa.
So you see the success that they're having are on the swing passes and the out routes. This is what Hawaii's obviously seen on tape. As if they feel like man-to-man that the Aggies cannot stay with them.
And in many ways, taking what this Aggies defense is affording them. So 2nd and 3. Alejado with some time, and that one is snagged by Senecal, and that was a pretty nifty catch there with Ike Larson draped all over Nick Senecal.
Yeah, that was pinpoint precision by Micah. Yeah, so he's on the drag route there, and you can't put the ball. You could hand it to him. It wouldn't be any better than that throw.
So Hawaii in business here. Opportunity presenting itself. Ball at the Utah State 15. 1st and 10. Alejado rolling. Alejado still looking. He's going to throw. He flips it down the sideline. It was Carson Pupunu who was most in the area.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah,
danger.
There was a lot of traffic in the area too.
But again, we're in the same situation where Hawaii has a chance to regain the control that they had earlier in the game. This time we're in the 4th quarter. Look at Micah here. I thought he was limping there for a second, but he appears to be okay.
Hawaii 4-2 overall. Best 6-game start since 2019. And now Timmy Chang going to signal for a timeout. So Hawaii will have 2 remaining here, taking this one with 12:01 to play.
Hawaii, 30 seconds.
So Hawaii lined up empty with trips to the boundary, and Utah State is showing again that same sort of pressure that Fresno State showed. They call it mugging at the line of scrimmage, and so you're just trying to jam everything up and come through the A gap. I don't know what the play was going to be if they ran it, but Timmy didn't like the look. So we'll see what he comes up with.
Well, you're going to love this. Hardcore University of Hawaii fan, Nelson Gutierrez, he just messaged and has donated to the Hawaii Food Bank.
Nice.
$10. There you go.
So
watching the legend Larry Beal. Got another message from
Kimo Kai?
From a good buddy of ours, Kimo Kai, who says, Kanoa, on my behalf, please donate $10 to the Hawaii Food Bank.
Look, I didn't say everybody's going to love this. I just said I want the Hawaii Food Bank. It's a fundraising night. Come on. We'll do the same thing Thursday. She gets it. Our team, Hawaii's team. Come on, Kanoa. Reach into your wallet, brother.
I got you.
Okay.
A little hurtful, but I got you.
I still love you.
It's Kamoku in motion. 2nd and 10. Alejandro in trouble, but he's able to break free. First down yardage all the way across the goal line. And Micah does it himself.
Happy birthday to Micah.
15-yard scamper as he broke out, and there was nobody to catch him.
Okay, so the key here is Hawaii's been trying to get the Aggies in man-to-man all night long. Micah sees man-to-man, which means the defenders have their backs turned because they're trying to catch up with the Hawaii receivers going downfield, so they can't even see Micah running. And he sees that, wide open field, races in for the touchdown.
Matsuzawa point after is good. And Hawaii now builds the lead out to 8, 34-26. Mike Alejandro blowing out the candle on a rushing touchdown on his birthday.
Let's take another look at the touchdown because you'll see man-to-man. You got a man in motion. You got 2 receivers split left. That's Harris and Ashlock. Look at the defenders. Backs turned. Micah sees it. So now it's a foot race to the end zone from the 20-yard line, and they're not going to catch him. And you see how deep the defensive backs are in the end zone. Here we go. Turn, run with your guy. Micah sees it. Touchdown.
Yeah, by the time they saw Micah, it was way too late. And Alejandro with his first rushing touchdown of the season. And the kick will be fielded at the goal line, and it's going to be Jacobs again trying to forge a return here. But he is taken down by Alika Kavako Amoy out of Punahou School, resident of Waimanalo on the island of Oahu. And so Hawaii with the largest lead for either team in this game. This has been a pretty bananas contest. 3 ties, 4 lead changes. And right now, Hawaii enjoying the largest lead that we have seen after a scoring drive of 11 plays, 81 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock, and ended with that 15-yard touchdown run for Micah Alejandro.
Number 20 for Hawaii is at number 13.
So Alejandro has accounted for all 4 touchdowns scored by Hawaii, 3 of them passing, 1 of them running. Speaking of running, here is Bryson Barnes. It's what he loves to do, and look at him. He does it so well. Gets across midfield and is finally brought down in Hawaii territory. Jalen Smith was the one who finally caught up.
He's dangerous. He's most dangerous when he's running the football. And they're going to go quick here.
35 yards on that run there by Barnes, and then hit as he lets that one fly. Just trying to get rid of it.
So, odd note about Bryson Barnes. He grew up on a pig farm. 12,000 pigs. That's a lot of pigs.
Yeah, he knows something about Barnes. It's the perfect last name.
Very good.
He grew up in Milford, Utah, a population of fewer than 1,500 people. But he has elevated his game, his Utah State offense for sure. And they're able to get a good amount of positive yardage there on the Miles Davis carry.
I'm going to talk about you as though you're not standing next to me, but when I listen to you and Rich do the games, you always have so much information. I don't know when you have time to prepare all this. Also, Kanoa has like Superman vision, so everything he types out is in like a micro font, and your dedication and your preparation is second to none, my friend.
That is high praise from one of my absolute idols and a good friend of mine, Larry Beal, good to have you up here. I appreciate that. 10:40 left to play after that incompletion. And Utah State, 4th and 4, at an interesting position on the field here. It looks like they're contemplating just going for this.
Well, you're down 8, so touchdown, 2-point play ties the game. The question is, what are you calling here? And is Hawaii going to bring pressure like they did on the last play? And that's looks like it is exactly what they're doing. Backside pressure.
Lets it fly. It is disrupted. Pass broken up by Elijah Palmer. And Hawaii will take over on downs.
Great execution by the Hawaii defense right there. You're heating up the quarterback. You speed him up. You bring pressure. He's got to get rid of the ball. And great close by Elijah Palmer there to break it up.
Palmer now with a handful of tackles and 2 PBUs, 2 pass breakups. And Hawaii's offense coming back out onto the field with 10:36 left to play. So the Rainbow Warriors sitting in a pretty prime position at the moment. Still a lot of football to be played, but opportunity presenting itself to really get a firm hold on this.
No more gadget plays. Okay. Simple stuff. Simple stuff.
We have Landon Sims lining up in that pistol. He gets his hands on the rock, and he's able to rock forward for a positive gain. About 7 yards on that carry. And Hawaii going to be in no particular rush either.
Take your time. Run the football if you can. Remember, Utah State is playing the pass because, you know, that's what Hawaii does. And so there are going to be lanes to run through for Landon Sims.
Alejado, that one complete to Pupunu across midfield. Another first down for Hawaii. Now you talk about this matchup, and of course a lot of these matchups with the teams that are going to break off from the Mountain West and go to the Pac-12, there's going to be a certain sense of nostalgia here. And while Utah State has dominated from 2011, it was Hawaii that for a good stretch was getting the better of this matchup. But it was that 2011 meeting that is considered around Logan, Utah, as one of the turning points for the Aggies program. Here is Sims, breaks a tackle. Sims with room to run to the 20. Chased by Larson, gets inside the 10, and Hawaii is on the welcome mat.
As I mentioned, there are going to be lanes to run through based on the way the Aggies are lining up. And Landon Sims straight ahead. Not the fastest guy in the world, but nobody wants to have to tackle Landon Sims with a head of steam.
43 yards for number 30. Under 9 minutes to play in the 4th. Hawaii knocking on the door.
Chance to take a vice grip on this game.
Ball at the 7. Alejado going to throw to the corner of the end zone. It is caught by Ashlock, but out of bounds. Oh, so close to being yet another Povele Ashlock touchdown catch. Would have been number 4.
Yeah, it would have been hard to come down inbounds on that. He ran the corner route and had his man beat. This is what the Hawaii coaches were saying, that they don't think that the Aggies can cover them. And the Hawaii receiver room, this is the best receiver room that Timmy has had in his 4 years here. So you got some highly skilled players.
And until Brandon White had to leave the game, this was as healthy as this receiver room has been this season. Hawaii 4 for 4 in the red zone. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. That one in the direction of Harris falls incomplete. That was Dylan Tucker on the coverage.
I'm a little surprised. I thought there was a little grab there impeding Harris, but a good blitz pickup by Sims.
50 attempts for Alejado here to this point. 384 yards. See the trips to the far side. 3rd and goal. Alejado trying to buy time. Oh, he gets beheaded. Tyree Morris wrapping him up upstairs and bringing him down for the sack.
Yeah, that's a scary looking play right there. So Sims goes out in the pattern.
So that's going to bring on another opportunity here for Kansei Matsuzawa.
Mr. Perfect.
He has made 2 this evening. This would tie the longest consecutive field goal streak in UH program history. 35-yarder. It is up, and it is good. And how about elite company for the Tokyo Toe, who joins Jason Elam for the longest consecutive field goal make streak in Hawaii history.
Shohei Ohtani's got nothing on him.
Well, if it wasn't official yet, it's official now. This guy's going down as one of the greats at kicking a football in Hawaii football history, tying Jason Elam for longest consecutive streak of made field goals. He has now made 20 in a row going back to last year.
He's incredible. And he does get a cut of the jersey sales with his name on the back. We should be streaming these games to Japan, by the way.
Yeah. I would imagine whatever you want to do a valuation in accordance with the popularity of this guy here locally and the potential popularity outside of Hawaii, particularly going to Japan, it would be pretty remarkable.
And he has an NFL future. Speaking of Japan, wakarimasu ka? You understand? He understands.
Number 20 for Hawaii is now back to number 17.
It's wonderful the way he kicks, which of course could also be referred to as subarashi.
Nice.
So Utah State now trailing by 11. They need to get working. And it is Miles Davis. And he gets worked by that defensive front. Peter Manuma along with Tariq Jones. A couple of the guys on the scene.
Interesting play call by Utah State, because this is the largest lead of the game for Hawaii, 11 points. You got 7 minutes and change left in this game. I don't know how much more you can run the football unless you think you're going to break one big.
Barnes sitting in the pocket, and he's going to fire a completion to Braden Pagan. And by the way, UH now 5 for 5 in the red zone this evening. 3 touchdowns and 2 Kansei Matsuzawa field goals.
So I expect that the Aggies are going to try to go quick here. Howard Dashevsky, by the way, is watching us on a plane over Colorado. He just donated money to the Hawaii Food Bank.
Yeah, Hawaii's going to be going to Colorado next week. Take on Colorado State. Put together an impressive win last night against Fresno State. The ball comes loose. It was Jalen Smith.
Yes,
comes out of there with it, and they are going to rule it a fumble and a Hawaii takeover. Wow. And Bronco Mendenhall looking a bit befuddled there, trying to ask for clarification, but seems to agree with the call. Let's take a look at this. That is Elijah Palmer there on the tackle, and look at that punch by Jemai Otis. The old peanut punch right on the button.
That is textbook. That is the way Chris Brown teaches it. It's become so prevalent in football now.
So he gets to hoist the turnover club fashioned by Tihati Productions. Of course, Afatia Thompson, former University of Hawaii running back. That is his family lineage, Tihati Production, which also produces the running out of the team before the game, which has to be the most unique in the country in college football, as that pass is complete to Tama Wiliata. And now you're looking at this scenario and you're thinking Hawaii can put a padlock on this thing.
Tick, 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 take your time. I might have to get a hold of the Thompson family, because my daughter Kiana's getting married at Maniko Honua next May, and they want Fire Knife Dancer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he'd be a good guy to call. Yeah.
Can you do that?
Absolutely not. Oh, I can connect you. Are you asking about the Fire Knife Dancer?
The fire.
Oh,
the fire part.
No. Matangi Thompson, by the way, of course, Afatia's son, member of this Hawaii defense, who got an interception a couple of weeks ago at Air Force, first career interception for him.
So it's interesting here because you would think you'd just run the ball, right? But these little swings, short passes, they're extended handoffs in this offense. High percentage throws. Just move the chains when you can, pick up yardage, set up 3rd and short.
And again, Hawaii, no particular rush. They're going to take their time. They're going to huddle up. They're going to let the clock tick down as far as possible. Facing a 3rd and 4 here, though. Alejado going to throw to the near side. It is incomplete. He was thinking big things with Nick Senecal downfield.
So another
field goal.
4th
down, yeah.
Ponce's getting a workout tonight.
The offense still out there. They haven't sent in Conce just yet. Maybe they're thinking at this position of the field, it's a little too tempting.
It's a 47-yard field goal from here.
They could be hard counting this too. Maybe they get a freebie on a penalty against Utah State, and if not, use a timeout, then bring out the Tokyo Toe. Utah State loading up that line. No, they're going to run a play here on 4th down. Alejado shifts the feet, finds a wide open receiver. It's Ashlock. Of course, it's Pofele Ashlock. And how about the onions by Timmy Chang in this Hawaii offense on 4th and 4. They are thinking about putting the finishing touches on this.
Ripped it. Dig route by Pofele Ashlock.
22 yards to Pofele.
Nobody in the middle of the field for the Aggies, so it's wide open. Micah reads it. Pofele sees the same thing. And now you're in business with a chance to really put a hammerlock on this game.
1st and goal. It's going to be Sims. Has a seam. He is tripped up at the 4-yard line.
This has been a wild game, man. You know, I mean, so many momentum swings, and you said it earlier. It appears as though Hawaii is the better team, okay? Just run your stuff. We don't have to resort to trickery and special teams gadgetry and all that stuff. Just run your stuff, and you are dominating.
Yeah, I mean, that is with all due respect to Utah State.
No, they're
no
good,
doubt.
Really good
this
team.
is a team
they're
that
really
deserves the utmost respect, but almost along those lines, I think Hawaii has benefited from just playing its brand of football as Sims stays on his feet. The 2nd and 3rd effort leads to pay dirt. And Hawaii is now absolutely in control with 3:48 left to go.
How about a former walk-on who earned a scholarship? Pure grit, takes one hit, keeps the legs driving, and pinballs his way into the end zone. That's a football player right there.
He broke through with a rushing touchdown against Air Force. Hawaii got its first 2 rushing touchdowns of the season up in Colorado Springs. They now have 2 rushing touchdowns here tonight, one by the QB and one by Landon Sims. And just for good measure, Conce with the PAT. And look at this score. With under 4 minutes to go, 44-26. Hawaii is just 3:48 away from getting what would be a massive Mountain West victory.
To improve to 5-2.
Number 17 for Hawaii is now number 20.
I've heard that before. Like 17 times during this game. Yes, I mean, the key this season for Timmy Chang, I think you would agree with me, is bowl eligibility, right? 6 wins gets you bowl eligible. And you've got 2 more home games after this. You have winnable games. So now you're thinking, okay.
Well, and you also have the benefit of the positions of the upcoming bye weeks. So they had a bye week. They're playing 2 games. It's going to be that same rhythm here to finish out the season where they're going to go 2 games, bye week, 2 games, bye week, and wrapping up the year. And so, yeah, I think that the opportunity presents itself here for Hawaii to not only be bowl eligible, but maybe do something a little more special than that. I mean, if they close this thing out, tonight, I mean, you've already, if you're Timmy Chang, matched your season best in wins the previous 2 years, and you've only played 7 games. This is Jacobs. Utah State in need of something along the miraculous lines here.
Yeah, they're down 3 scores.
Here's the remaining schedule. So Hawaii on the road at Colorado State. We will be there. It's a Spectrum Sports broadcast. At San Jose State on November 1st following a bye. San Jose State here back at home on November 8th. Then another bye. And then it's at UNLV, which got a scare from Air Force today, by the way. And then closing things out against Wyoming on November
20 for
29th here at home.
Hawaii, number 17.
You're not doing the San Jose State game, are you?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
That's your neck of the woods. Are you doing the San Jose State?
No, I'm not. I did their game a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
But because I was going to say, come stay at the house in the neighborhood.
Well, I'm not. That would actually help out because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford a hotel after all of the food bank donations I'm making this evening.
Nice tackle by Elijah Palmer. We only have 3.5 minutes to raise some more money for the Hawaii Food Bank.
And we should say we've gotten, thankfully, some really cool people out there in the community that have notified us, texted us, the likes of Howard Deshevsky, Dan Cook, Tim Murray from VSIN, Vegas Stats and Info Network. He actually donated $40. That's how much he loved you being a part of this broadcast, Larry.
Or hated me. He wants to take money out of your pocket. Look out here. Look out.
That is Braden Pagan down the sideline. And finally brought down by Peter Manuma. And so, yeah, you don't want to celebrate too early if you're Hawaii. And remember what Air Force did in that 4th quarter, where they had a couple of quick strikes that kept things in question. Of course, Hawaii with a little bit of distance on the scoreboard, but you don't want to give up the big play that easily.
No.
Barnes off the back foot. It is picked off. It is Jemai Otis.
The ruling on the field is an interception. First down, Hawaii.
Well, he has had some dynamic defensive flashes here this season, including that 37-yard fumble return touchdown against Fresno. And here he is in the clutch, stepping up. And the Bishop Gorman product putting perhaps the punctuation mark on an incredible victory for the Rainbow Warriors.
44-26. This was a really close game for most of the night, and Hawaii is pulled away late.
Hawaii has outscored Utah State 20-6 since halftime. Otis 5 tackles, forced fumble, and an interception.
You know, along the lines of the Hawaii Food Bank, and this is the fundraiser. We just invented it. You know who could really donate a lot of money and is spending a lot of time here lately? The Rock. You think he's watching? I'm going to guess no. Did I mention?
He's a football fan, right?
Yes. Boy, you played for Miami.
No, we're not on pay-per-view anymore. This is available to the masses.
By the way, when I told my brother that, you know, I was going to join you, he goes, $69.99? I could talk to you for free every day. And I said, no, it's not on pay-per-view anymore. He goes, oh, okay, I'll watch.
Drake, read the newspaper. Yeah.
All right?
This is the 2-minute timeout.
So Utah State hanging on to all 3 of its timeouts. 2-minute timeout here. Hawaii on the precipice. Time now for the Hawaii Honda Dealers highlight reel, and the highlight reel put in by Pofele Ashlock tonight. Nothing short of astounding. 3 touchdown catches. One-handed catch along the sideline right here. I mean, he has put together yet another golden performance. Pofele Ashlock is a lock as one of the great receivers to play in a University of Hawaii uniform. They're looking to finish the deal here. 2 minutes to go. Demarcius Davis is the quarterback, and look at him go across midfield. It is Ike Larson who finally puts an end to all of that. Demarcius Davis, the transfer from UCLA, here in some cleanup duty, and that's one of the things that he can do. At 6'4", he can fly.
Running quarterback, RPO, keep. Aloha.
I knew a guy on SportsCenter used to say a catchphrase that utilized that.
Yeah, he's a bum.
37 yards there for Davis.
Best formation in football.
And Davis going to take a knee. Utah State is not going to use any of the remaining timeouts, and so this one is going to happen. Hawaii is going to improve to 5-2. Timmy Chang is going to exorcise some of the demons of the last 15 years in this matchup with Utah State. They had won 8 straight in the series by an average of 26 points. And instead tonight, Hawaii reverses fortune, and it is 44-26, and the final minute ticking away.
And we send Utah State out of the Mountain West Conference on a long journey back to the mainland. Another kneel down here, and it's almost over.
I want to thank a lot of people who have been continuing to text in. Sanj Sapal, several others, Alan Takitani, who have said that they are donating to the food bank. Brilliant idea on your part, Larry, for whatever reason. Some really great responses there. So we thank those of you who have been gracious and kind enough to do that. And I want to thank you for being here in the booth tonight. This was a great thrill for me, I hope you know.
It's my pleasure, man. I can't even believe they let us do this. By the way, Rich Miano, he was listening, and he said that Landon Sims is basically scataboo. It's like,
he's still giving his takes. Even all the way in New Zealand, still giving his takes. This one is Pau, and Hawaii takes it 44-26. And you can add this as another, if not maybe the preeminent signature victory for Timmy Chang in his tenure as head coach. Hawaii now 5-2. They are 2-1 in the Mountain West Conference, and they are very much in the mix near the top of the standings. Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the game. Let's take a look. Bryson Barnes had to lead the game a little while towards the end of the first half, but he came back in the second half. Overall, 14-26 for 175 yards, a touchdown, a pick, 12 rushes for 64 yards. And prolific Pofele Ashlock, 8 catches, 113 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average of 14 yards per catch. All right, well, the post-game show is going to discuss and break down this tremendous win here for Hawaii, but I'll give you, Larry Beal, who was gracious enough to join us tonight, the final word here.
I just think, as you just mentioned, signature win for Timmy and this football program. Clearly headed in the right direction. They've got athletes making plays. They got the right quarterback. It is all coming together as the entire state had hoped when Timmy came home to take over this program and take it out of the mud. And it was a difficult haul, but we are clearly headed in the right direction. And while they say the prayers, I just want to say this to you. I would not be here without the Leahy family, okay? I love your dad, your mom as well. I love you, brother. I really do. We've gotten really close in the past few years, and I appreciate you just asking me to do this.
Well, it has been an absolute thrill for me, and the feeling is mutual, man. Love you too. Thanks for being here. Larry Beal, the great Larry Beal. All right, that'll be it for us. Don't forget about the post-game show. But for now, for Larry Beal, I'm Kanoa Leahy on behalf of the rest of our Spectrum Sports crew. Sweet victory for the Rainbow Warriors. Until next time, we bid you aloha from Manoa.